Starting with the Iron Man evaluations, this video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 126, Embryo Gaze. Specific live broadcast tasks rarely appear. Moreover, there is a chance to get a chance to go to a parallel world again. This is very rare for Pingfan. In such a long time, he has only had a temporary opportunity to go to a parallel world for live broadcast. Specific tasks released. 1. Evaluation of exclusive props, 100 times arm strength ball. 2. Evaluation of biological agents, mimic animal smoke bomb. 3. Go to parallel world number 2 for live broadcast. Parallel world number 2? What kind of world is this? The other two cheating exclusive evaluation tasks were directly said by Pingfan, and he would never consider them. Parallel world number 2 is a parallel space-time, based on the timeline axis of the current world, where the reviewer is located. As for why number 2 is used as a code name, the reviewer can understand it this way. If number 2 is set as the basic timeline, then your current world can be called number 2, or number 3, or number 4. But, what is the difference between this and the world of Zoanfa? The Zoanfa world belongs to the superdimensional plane world, which does not belong to the same timeline as the current world, and can even be said to not belong to the same universe. What about this number 2? The number 2 parallel world belongs to the parallel space-time plane world. It is another world that extends out, based on the premise of the current universe time axis. It belongs to the same universe background, but not the same time axis. If the current world is compared to a straight line, then number 2 is another line parallel to it. In addition to number 2, there are more parallel lines. So, the Zoanfa world I went to before is not a parallel world of our world at all. It is another brand new super dimension. That's right. In other words, the world I went to this time is the same as our world, and I can still see myself in parallel space and time. Not necessarily. Parallel worlds do not interfere with each other, and are not connected to each other. In other words, you may not exist in parallel worlds. I understand. The two worlds are different. Maybe he exists in this parallel world, or maybe he will exist in the next parallel world. What about the mission? Specific evaluation tasks can only be started after going to a parallel world. Damn, you stuck at the right time. Pingfan rolled his eyes. Then let's do a comprehensive evaluation of my live broadcast. Since this live broadcast has a mandatory promotion premise, the traffic will not be counted. Only the live broadcast effect will be counted. The comprehensive evaluation level of the live broadcast is S. Points. 320 points. Growth value 530 points. The reviewer can open a new mall prop grid and refresh the props once. Wow. Then open it. His current total points are 1820 points, and the growth value is nearly 600 points. It's just so pitfall. It takes 1000 growth points to upgrade from level 0 to level 1. If you want to upgrade from level 1 to level 2, you need a full 2000 growth points. It's pitfall. Do I have to increase the growth value by 1000 points every time I upgrade? After sighing, Pingfan began to pay attention to his exclusive prop mall. He didn't plan to refresh the magnetic storm reaction ball, at least not in the short term. The prop mall is open. After the comprehensive evaluation reaches the S level standard, the storage compartment opened will automatically push a prop randomly. Wait, if I don't reach the S level, if I choose to open the prop compartment, it will only open a prop compartment. It will be empty, and I have to wait until the next live broadcast to refresh the props, right? Smart. Sucks. Ha. He. After the prop compartment was opened, the props of this new prop compartment were refreshed. Embryonic gaze lens film, 100 points to redeem once. Wait, I just played a pregnant gaze. What the hell is embryonic gaze? Pingfan was not disappointed, but a little bit expectant. Embryo gaze also originates from the XIU plane world. The producer is still the big boss who can sell anything. It needs to be used in conjunction with pregnancy gaze. Pregnancy gaze only allows people to experience the process of pregnancy and childbirth. Through this process, it awakens the truth, goodness, and beauty deep in people's hearts. Embryo gaze is greatly enhanced on this basis. By gazing at the embryo, people can understand the process of pregnancy more deeply. Damn. The previous look was just an illusion that made people pregnant. After a while, it was over. Embryo gaze, can't it really make people pregnant and give birth to a baby? This is too perverted. Good and bad. I like it so much. Think about it. During the live broadcast, tens of millions of people suddenly became pregnant and gave birth to babies on the spot. This scene is really spectacular. The most important thing is that it does not distinguish between men and women. It violates physiology. In fact, it is not as perverted as Pingfan thought. Embryo gaze means to copy and seize a certain skill or talent of the person who is it. This skill or talent is presented in the form of embryo breeding, which greatly enhances the experience of the pregnancy gaze process. Seize talents and skills. This lens film is a bit domineering. Unfortunately, the lens film is a one-time consumable item. It takes 100 points to redeem it each time before it can be used with the true love glasses. Just for this film, I have to keep this perverted pair of glasses. It's really domineering. Why don't you try to seize a skill from the mermaid? Pingfan looked at the mermaid who had finished experiencing the pregnancy process and had a nervous and exciting idea, but this time, he successfully curbed his desire to die. Forget it. The knowledge of the mermaid is not very attractive to Pingfan. She is now his loyal little brother, oh no, little sister. So, she can do some things for him. As for the point that the mermaid attracts Pingfan, it is the unique chest and abdominal structure that can store and absorb the pressure of the seabed and convert it into part of its own combat power. How attractive is this? Whoever is unhappy with me, I will just give you a breath. I can't spray you to death. However, this matter is still a bit risky. If this skill is copied and seized, then the transformation of Pingfan's body will not be worth a loss. You can choose to give up the talent skills you have taken away. There is another question. That is, after the talent skills are taken away, does the other party still have them? Copy and take away. The other party still has them. This is not very domineering. Pingfan was a little disappointed. Otherwise, when he went to the zoo World, he would just stare at the stupid dragon and the strange bird, and then take away all their talents. They would be complete idiots. Right. If the other party's talent skills are not erased, then, does hybrid number 2 have talent skills now? For example, the ability of the tremor fruit? If I only copy and take away the ability of the tremor fruit, there should not be the side effect of fear of the ocean, right? Thinking of this, Pingfan immediately summoned hybrid number 2. Then he exchanged for another embryo gaze lens film. Soon, hybrid number 2, who had experienced the feeling of pregnancy, gave birth to a bubble, and there was a line of words in the bubble hard as steel. This should be the talent of bionic human skeleton. That thing is made of metal. Do you want to be so ripped off? Although it was a rip-off, there was still a sense of excitement like a scratch card. Come on, I want earthquakes, seaquakes, and airquakes. Chapter 127 Crazy Scratch Lottery. My luck has been ruined. At this moment, several bubble-shaped spheres have floated in front of Pingfan. The names of talent skills are marked inside. For example, steel teeth, copper stomach, iron head. These 3 skills come from the mountain swallowing beast. Pingfan doesn't want to chew stones, and he doesn't want to use steel teeth to bite, or iron head to hit when fighting. The main reason is that Pingfan doesn't know if he will mutate after integrating these 3 skills and become a mountain swallowing beast, which is to low 600 points are over. How about trying it again? Just when Pingfan wanted to exchange for the embryo attached gazing lens membrane again, the mountain swallowing beast staggered to his feet, his bird claws trembling constantly, and fled in panic. The mountain swallowing beast, which can use ore as food, has an iron body, but it actually fell down at this moment. There is no way. He is still a child. A child who was born just a few days ago. Although he looks ugly and grows fast, he is still a child. It would be strange if he didn't faint after experiencing the feeling of pregnancy 3 times in a row. The problem is that Leapingfan doesn't even know the gender of this guy. Useless stuff. Leapingfan snorted and didn't exchange the eyeglasses. Even if he exchanged, he didn't plan to use it on the mountain swallowing beast. Now he's unlucky. Not a single useful skill talent has been refreshed. He can't just fight hard. He should save up his luck first. By the way, system, after the comprehensive evaluation reaches the S level, I should have another chance to choose the 1-point mall, right? In fact, in addition to the 1-point mall for the whole venue, he can also choose the half-price mall or the 10% discount mall. Of course, which of these two malls appears is determined by the system. However, he will not choose the latter. If you want to experience it, then experience your luck. He has always been unlucky before. Maybe he can recover blood against the sky. This time he can exchange for something interesting in the 1-point mall. 1-point mall is open. Similarly, the 4 randomly appearing props are sold for only 1 point. Love smoke bomb. The first prop is a bit similar to the mimic animal smoke bomb. After using it, the smoke released by the bomb is absorbed by people, which will greatly stimulate the hormones in his body, thereby stimulating the concept of love. By then, let alone gender, race may not be a problem. Change. Given the possibility of accidentally injuring friendly forces, although it is powerful, Leapingfan still refused it. Don't go home tonight eye drops. Consumable props. After using it, it greatly enhances the user's personal charm, and the eyes can really generate electricity. The success rate of using it on the opposite sex is very high. Hey, don't go home tonight. Ahem. This item is a bit interesting. If you use it, you can temporarily get a pair of big electric eyes from Karslan, which will definitely make you the most beautiful kid in the nightclub. However, Leapingfan has no intention of wandering around the nightclub. Bionic lonely companion. This thing does not need additional introduction. With her, who dares to let your tears accompany you overnight? With her, who dares to let your face not face each other in dreams? Very tempting. The only people Leapingfan can share with now are a mermaid who is not quite normal, a strange bird that can understand human language but looks particularly ugly, and a hybrid number 2 controlled by him. He is very lonely. In fact, he was a little moved during the live broadcast. 10,000 dragon scale armor. Leapingfan was also familiar with the last item. It was a defensive magic weapon that he had chosen when he was drawing the Iron Man armor series Mark 50. It came from the plain world of the Devil Boy. It was the magic weapon that the third Prince of Long got in the Dragon Palace. This scale armor was made of the hardest dragon scales of all dragons, and its defensive power was obvious. The most important thing was that it was very handsome. Forget it, the successful are destined to be lonely. After thinking for a long time, Leapingfan decided to spend 1 point to exchange this set of scale armor. After all, the dangers he would face in the future were increasing and getting bigger. Although the bionic partner could help him satisfy his psychological or physical loneliness, it was useless in a fight. The exchange was successful. A ray of light fell from the sky. This time the style was much higher. It was not unboxed. A piece of exquisite armor slowly fell from the sky, blooming with colorful light under the light, until it fell on Leapingfan. Oh my god, it also has the effect of mimicry. This was something Leapingfan had not expected. When he put on the armor, the system also sent all the information about the armor. The armor can be transformed into any different forms of clothing according to the user's ideas. This is a small change to the system. It will not attract too much attention and can make people more low-key. After all, in this era, although there are many cosplay players, Leapingfan will still attract attention if he goes out wearing this armor. Not bad. With his heart moving, the armor on Leapingfan's body quickly turned into an ordinary set of clothes. White shirt and black pants, low-key but not losing the atmosphere. Now exercise the next right. I can predict the evaluation props for the next live broadcast. Since the live broadcast is a customized live broadcast, it is impossible to provide the props required for the live broadcast in advance. Since there is no way to evaluate the props, Leapingfan once again set his sights on the hybrid number 2. Then draw the lottery. This time, the props in the 1-point mall finally stopped talking. Proof that his face turned pale again. If you don't draw now, when will you draw? Leapingfan gritted his teeth and exchanged for a pair of embryo gaze lens film again. After sticking it, he looked at hybrid number 2 again. Fortunately, hybrid number 2 is a new symbiont. Otherwise, after experiencing the feeling of pregnancy 3 times in such a short time, it would have been exhausted. Hybrid number 2 is very good. Its life comes from the new sterilization of the symbiont, and their reproductive ability is division, so it will not be very painful. Soon, another bubble flew out of hybrid no 2's body. Pingfan returned the previous bubbles to them one by one. After all, they were useless. Air shock. The bubble flew out slowly and landed in front of Pingfan. It's not easy. Looking at this bubble named air shock, Pingfan shed tears of emotion for a while. 700 points, plus the consumption of the 10,000 dragon scale armor, a total of 701 points. There are still 1,119 points left. How about another? This is only air shock, and there are 3 more skills of the tremor fruit. This time he planned to perfectly replicate the ability of the tremor fruit. There are no side effects, no need to be afraid of seawater, must be praised. Continue. Bubbles flew out. Ocean nemesis. After using it, say goodbye to the sea. If you never see the sea again, I will be your nemesis. Isn't this the weakness of the tremor fruit? How can it be considered one of its skills? Do you dare to cheat me more? Come again. Spending points generously, Pingfan once again exchanged for the embryo gaze lens membrane and cast the light of the mosaic glasses on hybrid number 2. A bubble floated out of its body again. Chapter 128 Deo name, Pregnant Criminal. Live broadcast begins. 7 days passed in a flash. Pingfan opened the live broadcast room again. He was also looking forward to what the so-called parallel world number 2 would look like. It was different from the expectations of the Zuanfa world. At that time, he did not understand the difference between the parallel world and the parallel plane world. Now the world he was going to could be said to be the world in which he currently lived in the mirror. How could he not look forward to it? The live broadcast room was opened. Although there was no systematic mandatory diversion this time, the traffic of several major platforms also broke through tens of millions in a very short period of time, and it was still skyrocketing. I don't know how many fans he gained last time, but his popularity was definitely known. I don't know if these people came to support him during this live broadcast, but they were definitely here to scold him. Pregnant boss, you screwed me to death. I'm now a celebrity in our school. Hehe, I successfully became the pride of our village through a pregnancy performance at the village cadre election meeting. Anchor, can you tell me an address so that I can go over and give you a small gift or something? Is it a blade? If it is a blade, count me in. Me, my family wholesales bricks, very white bricks. Huh, aren't all bricks red? Why do you sell white bricks? No, the bricks my family sells are all red bricks, but the ones produced are white bricks. Guess how they turn red? I'll tell you. I've given gifts to several online writers who stopped updating. So scary. Pregnancy offender. I hate you so much. You made my belly big, and I'm still a female college student. Although the last pregnancy incident came a little suddenly, I don't know why I want to experience it again. Upstairs. You are not a person. Yes, upstairs is not a person. It's a fucking animal. If you want to die, go die by yourself. Don't drag us down. Dog, I beg you to be a human being. The anchor may not be a human, but the upstairs is a real dog. Pingfan had anticipated this result in advance. The pregnancy incident was a sensation in China. For 7 consecutive days, the popularity did not decrease but increased, especially on the day before the new broadcast. The hot search headlines of a certain platform were scheduled to be, "Pregnant criminal is about to start broadcasting again. This time, where will his evil tentacles reach? Fuck pregnant criminal." Pingfan wanted to cry, but had no tears. However, he had long been accustomed to it. Anyway, the barrage in his live broadcast room has never been normal. Abnormal live broadcast room barrage is very normal. Whose live broadcast room is shouting every day? Or is it because you miss number 7? Anyway, just ignore the anchor. Hello everyone, welcome to the live broadcast room of the Wanji reviewer. Pingfan cleared his throat and said this. This live broadcast is a customized live broadcast, so I don't know about the props for live broadcast evaluation. Moreover, this live broadcast will open a parallel world. Unlike the previous unforplaned world, the parallel world we are going to this time is another parallel world born, based on our current world's cosmology and timeline. In other words, if we are lucky, we can see ourselves in the parallel world. After saying this, the live broadcast room was completely blown up. The barrage also returned to the right track from the 3 words pregnant criminal. What? Parallel world? Wait, why is it different from the Zoanfa world? Time for popular science. Parallel world should refer to different time and space under the background of the same universe. And the plane world should refer to different time and space under different universes. Popular science mud. Is this what I care about? I just want to care whether I'm very rich in the parallel world, whether I'm a born scumbag. Please give me a chance to be a scumbag. Everyone stand up and welcome the ancestor. I didn't have a choice before. If I were given a chance, I would choose scumbag. Fuck, it's so exciting. I wonder how different this parallel world is from the Zoanfa world. Hehe, parallel world. This anchor is really bragging without thinking, and he is also a Wanji reviewer. You are so good at talking, why don't you write a novel? Is the upstairs just connected to the internet? Haven't you heard of the name of the Wanji review pregnant criminal? Pregnant criminal? This guy is also a rapist. Now rapists can be anchors? I feel sorry for the big guy who just got online. You should be thankful for your ignorance. Otherwise, the pregnant prisoner would definitely teach you a lesson during the last live broadcast. Teach me a lesson? I'm a pure man, and he is the only one who can teach me a lesson. I envy your ignorance. I used to be the same as you, but in the eyes of the pregnant prisoner, let alone gender, maybe species is not a problem. After all, whoever you stare at will get pregnant. Who can stand this? As the barrage in the live broadcast room kept flashing, Pingfan imitated the last time he traveled through the plane world and reached out to grab the void. Pulling back hard, the space cracked. A vortex appeared out of thin air, constantly rotating, exuding a strong attraction, as if you look at it a few more times, your soul will be lost in it. The specific evaluation tasks and props can only be known after we reach the parallel universe world. Well, next, let's meet in parallel time and space. After that, Pingfan stepped into the parallel time and space. The wormhole healed. As the space traveled, the live broadcast rooms of major live broadcast platforms were in a trance for a moment, and then the screen was restored. In the screen, Pingfan landed on the roof of a tall building. It was nighttime, and the stars were twinkling in the dark night sky. Faintly, it seemed that the Milky Way could be seen flowing through the sky. Under the night, tall buildings stood in a forest, and neon lights were dancing. Countless high bridges were across the sky, like an extremely abstract modern painting. Whoosh! A car-like thing passed through the sky, shuttling away with a trajectory. This scene only gave people a heavy sense of technology. Is this a time and space parallel to our world? The night sky is so beautiful. I'm afraid we can only see such a gorgeous night sky in the mountains here. That's right, in the countryside, or in the mountains. Anyway, near the city, you can't see anything except the haze. Not necessarily, the night sky is very strange. Look at that moon-like thing, doesn't it look very big and close? I suspect that the atmosphere of the planet in this parallel world must be very thin, which is not a good thing. That's right. Pingfan confirmed this. The air quality here is actually not very good. The technology is advanced, but it has not entered the first level civilization world. As for the comparison with the technological level of our world, we need to study more. Now, I will officially accept the evaluation task and props of this parallel world. Pingfan pointed to the sky. Come on, let me see what the prop task of this evaluation is. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 129. You are not human. You are not human. Go to hell. You are not human. No, you are not human at all. Exclusive props customized for this live broadcast evaluation. You are not human. On the tall building, Pingfan, wearing Mark 50 armor, felt his face full of black lines. What kind of prop is this? It has such a pitfall name. Ahem. However, he still cleared his throat and looked at the video recorder. Everyone, today we are going to evaluate the customized exclusive prop. You are not human. Host, how can you make a personal attack? The name of this prop, This world should not be as dangerous as the previous Zoo world. It is a groundbreaking discovery that the civilizations of the two parallel worlds are very close. Look at the words on the building not far away. Is it our common font now? Look in front. What is that flying car? But can that thing still be called a car? Can fly in the air? It's not flying, but an aerial track, but the special material of the track makes it look almost transparent. Pingfan also noticed the car that suddenly flew over. Of course, it was not a car, but just a very similar means of transportation. At first, he also thought that the vehicles in this world could fly, but Friday's high resolution helped him confirm that these vehicles were moving on a track. As the vehicle approached Pingfan, he took off and rushed into the air to leave here. This time when he came to the other world, he didn't even bring number 2. A world parallel to technological civilization. The 50 series of steel armor is obviously enough to dominate. In addition, he now has several unique talents and a pair of eyes that can make anyone pregnant when he stares at them, which is enough for him to run rampant in the other world. If it doesn't work, there are also magnetic storm reaction balls, which can blow them up at that time. Soon, Pingfan found another tall building. Friday, can you block the surrounding signals? Yes, sir. Okay, first block any surrounding signals and monitoring equipment, and I will collect the props for this live evaluation. Pingfan is not a murderer. There is no psychological distortion. Never thought of revenge on society. Of course, all this is based on the premise that others want him to be stable. However, even so, he would not start to destroy this world when he first entered the other world. He snapped his fingers. For some reason, he has been fascinated by the action of snapping his fingers recently, especially when he snaps his fingers while wearing the steel armor suit. It is very loud. A crack appeared in the sky and a space wormhole appeared. Big Brother is really pretending all the time. Now he doesn't even say anything, just snaps his fingers. Very cool, very cool. But, you are not a human. What the hell is this prop? What are you reviewing? Not only the water friends in the live broadcast room are curious, Pingfan is also curious. Not a human. Soon, the cardboard box fell from the sky. The overall appearance of this cardboard box is similar to the box for laptops. As the props appeared, the detailed introduction was also transmitted to Pingfan's mind. Unboxing. Without any nonsense, Pingfan opened the cardboard box, and there were 2 things in it. These 2 things should be a set. When combined together, it is called You Are Not a Human. This prop is provided by a mysterious organization called SKR in the current plane, and the official release time is 50 years from the current universe. Pingfan picked up 2 things. The first one is something similar to a thermometer, and the second one is a small display screen. In this world, some people look no different from humans, but they are not human. The SKR organization is responsible for finding those who are not human. After finding them, it determines whether to transform them into their original bodies, based on the degree of animalization reaction. This display screen will track the body fluctuations of animalized people within a radius of 1000 meters, and the transformation gun can completely transform animalized people after the animalization degree reaches 170%. Fairy? Didn't they say that it is not allowed to become a fairy after the founding of the country? It should be more than just a fairy. Is the cultural background of the parallel world the same? Do they have regulations for the founding of the country? Ridiculous if it is a fairy. Can the anchor deal with it now? They are not fairies. They are still human beings from a certain physiological level, but their souls are gradually becoming beasts. Let me briefly introduce this item. After the emergence of the SKR organization, it has been committed to clearing out the beastmen, who endanger the development of human civilization. Unfortunately, the development of this organization has not been smooth sailing. As for why they asked me to come to the world 50 years ago for evaluation, this point is not marked in the evaluation task. Okay, now let me talk about the evaluation task requirements. They want me to use this set of "you are not human" props to transform at least 3 beastmen. Suddenly, I feel so magical. Will they die after the transformation? Will they be deprived of their lives? Yes, I'm curious about this too. No. After the transformation, they will become animals in the direction of their soul's beastification, and then they will be detained by the SKR organization. After purification and transformation, their souls will no longer be beasts and can be transformed back. After the brief introduction, Pingfan took the display screen-like thing in his hand and pressed the switch. Next, let's scan the nearby area for any beastmen. Unfortunately, this prop can only cover a radius of 1000 meters. Pingfan took off again and searched around the city. Soon, a red dot appeared on the screen, and a series of rapid beeps were heard. Okay. Pingfan stopped in midair, looked at the direction marked on the display screen and smiled indifferently. The first beastman has been found. Let's go and see what the difference is between humans after beastification and us. After that, he accelerated at full speed and flew towards the locked target. A distance of 1000 meters is not very far, which is easier for Pingfan. After finding a good place, he took off the armor and let Mark 50 start the sentry mode, lurking in the air while avoiding detection by some current world defense means. The reason why the armor can be taken off is also a small change made by the system, because Pingfan himself has not undergone a human body connection operation with the reactor. Therefore, after he took off the adsorbed reactor, he could activate the reactor through himself after being identified. In other words, after being identified, he can activate the reactor, whether it is embedded in his body or taken off, and he is the only one who can do it. As for himself, he took advantage of the brief blind spot of the video camera and used the dragon scale armor to change into a set of clothes that conform to the current society. The overall dress is not much different from the world he originally lived in. When he changed his clothes, he also put on an extra mask. Even in other parallel worlds, Pingfan was very cautious. And just near the street corner in front, a group of locals gathered together. As Pingfan approached, he could hear a woman's voice that was particularly obvious among the discussions of the crowd. "Oh, it's just a scam. I saw it with my own eyes." Chapter 130 Crocodile. Surrounded by the crowd was a vehicle, and lying in front of it was a gray-haired old man. This world is generally no different from the world that Pingfan lives in. There are not many changes. The level of technology may not be much different. After all, it is very parallel. He quietly approached the crowd without speaking. In the crowd, a girl dressed up in fancy clothes rolled her eyes and pointed at the old man with contempt. "It's a scammer. I saw it with my own eyes." "Really? Why did I feel that the speed of that car was a bit abnormal just now?" "No, the speed of that car will not exceed 30 miles per hour. Even if it hits someone, it won't be too serious. Look at the performance of this old thing." Zizizi, the woman sneered with contempt. "It's true, there are not a few scammers now, but I still feel that the car just now. Speaking of which, you have been speaking for this old guy who scams. You are not an accomplice, are you? Going on a mission together, extorting money and then splitting it in half." The woman suddenly pointed the finger at another young girl in the crowd, who was not very old. "No. Oh, no? You are so young, and you don't learn well. I guess this old thing is your grandmother." Haha, I didn't expect that the grandparents and grandchildren would go out to do bad things now. How could a teenage girl be the opponent of this cunning woman? In a few words, this cunning woman took control of the situation. Some people around who didn't know the truth also accused her. "Yes, I heard that someone went out to cheat money like this recently. Hey, if the family atmosphere is like this, it's useless. Shameless. The old one cheats money, the young one covers up and leads the rhythm. So shameless. What face do you have to lie on the ground and dare not move your ass and get out of here?" The heavily made up woman sneered. "That's right, not many people saw this car accident, and the injuries were not serious, and there was no bleeding. Therefore, this woman was able to settle the matter in a few words. Driver, hurry up and leave. We'll be watching here today and won't let this old guy extort money from you." "That's right, let's go. We'll make the decision for you." We'll fight for justice. Old guy, if you want to scam me next time, run to the middle of the road if you can. You're so old, and you're disrespectful. It's embarrassing to even look at you. The woman snorted and walked away in her high heels. Lee Pingfan's eyes were always on the woman. Because, with every step she took, the red dot on the screen in Lee Pingfan's hand moved a little. Interesting. What a trick to reverse black and white. The crowd dispersed. The vehicle that caused the accident ran away. The old man who was hit became the bad guy who scammed me. Just when Lee Pingfan was struggling whether to deal with this matter, the little girl who had been framed by the woman before and over helped the old man up and was holding her mobile phone to contact something. Looking at this heartwarming scene, Lee Pingfan smiled knowingly and then walked towards the direction marked on the screen again. He suddenly remembered a sentence. In an avalanche, no snowflake is innocent. Sighing, when Lee Pingfan was about to chase after her, the display screen made another series of rapid beeps. On the screen, a small dot lit up again, and that dot happened to be right behind him. Lee Pingfan turned around, and the long street became empty at this moment, with only the little girl and the old man she supported. Lee Pingfan smiled, and did not chase after her. Unlike the light spot that lit up on the woman, this new light spot was green, and there was a line of words in the note. Dolphin. Dolphins are kind by nature, and this is not just propaganda in film and television works. In real life, dolphins are also like knights, helping people and weak animals to solve crises. Therefore, he planned to let this little girl with a beast soul go. After waving at the little girl, Lee Pingfan started his pursuit journey again. The former's beast degree was 37%. Not far away, Lee Pingfan found that the car that caused the accident had stopped by the roadside. After waiting for a while, the woman who was being beasted came over, took a stack of money next to the car window, threw a kiss, and then left. At this moment, the beast transformation degree is 43%. Lee Pingfan continued to track, and soon she found the woman sitting on a chair in an open-air milk tea shop not far away, constantly swiping her phone, with a slightly ferocious face. Friday, can you export her phone screen? The Mark 50 in Sentry mode can receive Lee Pingfan's instructions. Soon, a split screen appeared on his phone, and the screen showed the screen that the woman was browsing at the moment. She left crazy comments under countless posts. This video is obviously staged. What kind of thing? How dare you post such a thing? Disgusting. What a loser. He's so young with hands and feet, and he comes here to beg. What job can't he find? Haha, what kind of crappy blogger is this? The articles he writes are all crap. Look at what kind of loser you made the protagonist into. I don't even need to read on. It's absolutely garbage and poisonous weeds. Plagiarism. I know it, just by looking at the name, without even reading the content. It's total plagiarism. You still want to write an article? Have you ever been to school? I can write better than you with my eyes closed. Oh, this woman is not a good person at first glance. She wears so little and still blames being raped. You are the instigator of the crime. You deserve it. Rescue small animals? In my opinion, you should deliberately throw the small animals into the sewer and then rescue them to attract attention. Disgusting. Spread positive energy. Spread your sister. You are a garbage thing. So old-fashioned. Domestic violence? At first glance your parents are not good people, and neither are you. You deserve it. Haha. Depression? Isn't this just moaning? If you really have depression, why haven't I seen you commit suicide? Jump off a building. It's much easier. If you can't do it, drink pesticides. If you can't buy pesticides, you can always buy rat poison, right? Aren't you depressed and insomniac? Take sleeping pills, find a place to die, and forget it. I think you can only seek care and sympathy on the internet. You really have no hope in life. Die, commit suicide, cut your wrists. There are so many ways. The degree of animalization of the woman continued to soar. The value soon reached 100 points. The audience in the live broadcast room were posting gnashing comments. Very angry, Lee Pingfan put the screen and mobile phone into his pocket, and he strode forward with the transformation gun in his other pocket. Under the street light, the woman suddenly raised her head and looked at Lee Pingfan, and before she could speak, the transformation gun was already aimed at her forehead. After pressing the trigger, a spot of light fell on the woman's forehead. The next moment, There was no woman's figure on the chair, replaced by a crocodile that was only more than 1 meter long. The transformation gun emitted light again, enveloping the crocodile. The light dissipated, and the butt of the gun, which was originally a place to store magazines, opened and a capsule fell out. The shell had a crocodile pattern printed on it. Crocodile, chordata, retilia, diacidia, crocodilia. Personality, hypocritical, false compassion, cold and cruel. What do you think the next beastman will be? Chapter 131 Mantis. Alas, I didn't expect this world to be even more cruel. In fact, what is the difference between our world and that world? It's just that people can't become animals. There are always people who regard the internet as a paradise for illegal activities and think that whatever they say is important. In the eyes of these keyboard users, perhaps the whole world is not kind. When an avalanche occurs, no snowflake is innocent. In this world, some words are far more hurtful than knives. That's right, you never know how much the person you slandered has paid, and your ridicule has turned all this into indifference. I didn't expect that there are still people who can despise depression so much. Are they really illiterate, or don't have internet access at home? It's too much. You will never understand the heart of a depressed patient. By the way, please ask the anchor to save the depressed patient. Don't let anything happen to him because of this asshole's words. Under the bright and beautiful appearance, there is such an ugly soul hidden. Damn, I really want to spray her. Let's calm down. If we spray it, what's the difference between us and the internet trolls? Anchor, please save that depressed patient. Don't let that troll's comments lead to suicidal tendencies. I'm ZHA Brick. I really understand how serious depression is and what kind of illusion it can give people. ZHA Brick, I envy you so much. +1. Don't worry. Pingfan in front of the camera smiled calmly after reading the comments asking him to save the depressed patient. I've asked Friday to hack into the forum and find out the detailed information of the poster. I've also contacted his family. Someone will go to take care of him. Just explained it to everyone. Pingfan didn't wear Mark 5 this time, but just walked on the street wearing a mask. The last encounter in the zoo for world was really a bit sudden. This time, we have time to go around in this world. Let's appreciate the food in this world. You must pay attention to the screen. Maybe you can see yourself in the parallel world. There's a fast food restaurant that looks pretty good in front. Let's go in and take a look. The scenery of this city is still good. Although the air is not very good. The air is bad because there are few green plants. This place is like a high-tech city with high-rise buildings and flashing neon lights. For the first time, I can smell a hint of coolness here. The landmark sent on Friday shows that we are now relatively close to a freshwater lake. Just when Pingfan was about to go eat something and appreciate the food culture of the parallel world, the alarm sounded again on the monitor. A red dot flashed, not far from him. Beast transformation degree, 57%. It's time to go. After installing the monitor, Pingfan walked towards the direction of the flashing red dot. Soon, a huge freshwater lake appeared in front of him. A huge bright moon hung in the sky. Because the air was thin, the moonlight fell like a waterfall and fell on the lake, which was particularly bright. By the lake, two people, stopping and looking at each other. A man kowtowed, as if he was saying something nice, and couldn't help but kneel down directly. The woman held her hands together, raised her head proudly, and her eyes were actually indifferent and contemptuous. You cheated on me with my best friend, didn't you? You still dare to ask me to forgive you? Get out, I will divorce you. You and Neon, it's not like that. The man explained with tears in his eyes. I really don't know what happened that day, I really don't know. I was on a business trip for work, and you were cheating at home, and you also seduced my best friend. Good job. You and Neon, will you listen to my explanation? Shut up, I tell you, there is no chance to explain. The woman took out a piece of paper from her bag. You should not have forgotten the prenuptial agreement. If either party cheats, the marriage will end directly, and the cheater will be kicked out of the house. You and Neon, we have been through ups and downs over the years. How could you not believe me? Why, do you think I should believe your sweet words, or the two white bodies I saw with my own eyes? You and Neon, we started from nothing and worked hard to save money for a car, a house, and a house. We are planning to have a baby. I will never cheat on you. She brought food to our house that day and said you were on your way back. Let's prepare a welcome banquet for you. Then I will. Shut up. You want to say that you, a 1.8 meter tall man, were raped by a woman. Ridiculous. You can explain this in court. I will definitely divorce you. After saying that, the woman turned around and left. The man knelt on the ground, tears falling. In this scene, the woman is the victim, no matter how you look at it. But the problem is that as the woman walked away, the red dot on the screen began to move. Could it be that the woman is a beast? Damn, cheating men are unforgivable. Not only men, anyone who cheats is unforgivable. Cheating feels the same as eating shit. Take this thing. I want to see what kind of beast this lustful guy is. This man looks so grief-stricken. He doesn't look like a victim at all. Upstairs. Are you going to protect the cheating man? Haha, then I'm going to start scolding you. Pingfan looked at the man for a moment, but still chose to believe the screen, turned around and walked over. Recorder, take a picture of the woman's appearance for me. Pingfan flew over with the recorder and took a picture from a distance. The woman, who was originally furious, actually smiled when she turned around and left. It was a smug smile, as if everything was under control. The degree of beastification on the screen was also increasing. As they walked, the woman smiled and made a phone call. Friday, monitor her phone call. At the same time, the content of the woman's phone call was also broadcast to the live broadcast room by Pingfan. You and Neon cooperated very well this time. I have already confronted him and left the house with nothing. According to our previous agreement, the car and 10% of the deposit belong to you. Hehe, sister, your plan is really good. After we do it a few times, we can go abroad and settle down. Humph, this idiot really thought I married him because I liked him. It's disappointing. I thought he would continue to work hard and make more money. I didn't expect that he didn't get a promotion a few days ago. I guess this person's value is just like this. He is a rubbish and a waste of my youth. Haha, sister, it's okay. The house is more than 200 square meters. It's better to give it to you now. Humph, you are not bad either. You sacrifice yourself and get a car. Okay, let's go to another city tomorrow night and have some fun. Okay, sister. The woman on the other end of the phone heard a bang before she finished speaking. Sister, what's wrong? Why are you not talking? What happened? At this moment, Pingfan stood in the same place and a mobile phone fell on the ground in front of him. And in his hand, there was a brand new capsule. There was a praying mantis pattern drawn on the capsule. Mantis, arthropoda, hexapoda, insecta, pterygota, mantodia. Personality, good at camouflage, cannibalism. Chapter 132 leeches. Ha, I got another one. Pingfan clapped his hands. When he put the transformed beastman capsule into his pocket, Pingfan showed a trace of confusion on his face. I always feel that something is not right. The female mantis will indeed eat the male mantis during mating, but eating it is just for the sake of mating smoothly. Although this nature seems cruel to us, it is a bit irrelevant to this woman. It's a bit far-fetched to compare this woman to a mantis. Pingfan sighed. Although he didn't know how this thing determined the degree of beastification, he was just doing a task anyway. Next, let's continue this parallel world eating broadcast journey. I didn't expect things to develop like this. I guessed the beginning, but not the end. That man is really pitiful. He was unlucky in his previous life to marry such a wife. However, Anchor, you want to experience the parallel world eating broadcast journey, but do you have the money in that world? It hurts. It's a pity that this live broadcast didn't open the other world platform. Otherwise maybe I could receive some rewards from the other world. Even if we can't eat it, let's go and take a look. I'm a chef, and I can take this opportunity to find inspiration. Maybe I can even create new dishes. Haha, chef +1. Plus 552. The new dishes probably can't be unique. There are so many chefs. And your sister. Interacting with the audience in the live broadcast room, Pingfan came to the restaurant he passed by before. After walking in, Pingfan saw the various special dishes posted on the signboard, and he realized that he had done something wrong. Spicy fish scales. Seriously? What is this? Fermented radish skin. Who eats skin? It's not a rabbit. Fried cucumber braised sterculia. All the chefs, have you ever had any inspiration? Have you thought of unique dishes? Leave. Pingfan was afraid that, if he stayed any longer, he would have a shadow on eating, which was really not worth the loss. Just when he was about to leave, a waiter chased after him in the store. Don't leave in a hurry, sir. You've come just in time. There's only one serving of our new specialty dishes left. Come and try it. Specialty? Yes, steamed small yellow croaker. Steamed small yellow croaker? Although it feels a little meatless, it's still a normal dish. This small yellow croaker is made with various concentrated vegetable soups accumulated in our store for a month as auxiliary ingredients. It can be said to be well tempered and 7 points of flavor. Come and try it? Wrong. Very wrong. A review anchor should do the review work well. Why do you want to do something that has nothing to do with you? The journey of eating broadcast is destined not to be suitable for him. Forgive my ignorance. Goodbye. Oh no, never see you again. Pingfan fled in embarrassment. After a month of accumulating various vegetable soups, isn't that stuff rotten? Just as Pingfan was about to walk out of the store, a series of urgent prompts came from the display screen. There was a red dot on the screen, and the red dot just passed by him at this moment. He went out, and red dot came in. Because it was late, there was only one customer in the restaurant, a girl who looked like a debut star even in the original world. The boy who passed by was a bit fat, with a pair of thick glasses on his nose. He trotted to the girl's table and sat down. The two of them were the kind of couple who didn't look like a couple at all. They were totally mismatched. Pingfan became curious and didn't leave in a hurry. Instead, he found a nearby seat in the restaurant and sat down. I'll take a break and leave in a while. As for eating, forget it. Don't say that not having money is a flaw. Even if he had money, he would never eat the food in this world. No, at least in this restaurant. Boss, another serving of spicy fish scales. The boy shouted at the waiter, then looked eagerly at the young lady sitting opposite him, looking like a dog licker. Hey, Xiling, don't go back today. Bad guy, why don't you let me go back? Of course. Do you need to consider this kind of problem? Bad guy. The girl smoothed her hair and then picked up a chopstick of fish scales and put it in her mouth like a lady. This scene almost made Pingfan vomit on the spot. By the way, little brother, you haven't told me what your job is. I'm the legendary rich second generation, so I still need to work. You stay with me these few days, maybe I will make some pocket money for you, and you don't have to go to work. The life I envy is simple and unpretentious. Anchor is one of these two abyssmen. Although this kind of thing is shameful, it is also normal. Really? You don't believe it? I didn't drive because I didn't pass the driving test, and my family is very strict. Have I spent little money on you these days? Aren't your bags, clothes, and cosmetics all bought by me? That's true. Then brother, can we stay at the Garden Hotel tonight? A friend of mine stayed there once, and I heard that it costs a lot of money for one night, which is not enough for several months' salary. Garden Hotel? Brother, you are so rich, you shouldn't mind. Of course, then eat quickly, I'll go out and call a special car. As he said that, the boy stood up and walked out the door. The red dot moved. It was obviously him. Pingfan also chased after him. After going out, the boy looked around, took out the communicator and dialed a number. Pingfan also instructed Friday, who had been following him in sentry mode, to hack in, monitor the content. At this moment, his beast level reached 46%. I asked you to transfer 50,000 yuan to me. It's true that it's useful for school. I want to enroll in a cram school. Son, why do you want money again? Didn't I just transfer 30,000 yuan to you a few days ago? How should I know? The school arranges that those who don't enroll in classes will not get a diploma. Do you want your son to not be able to find a decent job in the future? Others have already paid. Transfer it quickly. But, son, in addition to tuition, we have given you an extra 170,000 yuan in the past few months. Your father and I can't transfer this money for several years. Just transfer it when I asked you to. Why are you talking so much nonsense? Besides, doesn't my dad have another card, the one he left for my brother? Son, that card is the betrothal money for your brother's marriage. How can we touch it? I'll just use it. Anyway, I'm graduating next month. Then I'll find a job and pay him back when I make money. Son, tell mom honestly, why is the house deed at home missing? After hearing the words of the woman on the other end of the phone, the boy's face was obviously flickering. How should I know? I didn't go home. Son, where are you now? Don't do anything stupid. This morning, your brother said he received several loan collection calls. They were all borrowed by you. Is that true? How is that possible? My brother likes to talk nonsense. There are so many scammers now, but he actually believed the scammers instead of his brother. Also, are you going to pay the 50,000 yuan or not? There's really no money at home. What's the use of you? After complaining, the boy hung up the phone and took out a red notebook from his school bag. He dialed another number. When the call was connected this time, the boy changed his attitude, which was completely different from his previous arrogant attitude. Hey, brother Wang, can I mortgage my house with the house deed? Does the money you said last time still count? The degree of beastification, 100%. Li Pingfan was originally sitting on the steps. When he saw that the degree of beastification had grown, he stood up with a wry smile. He patted the dirt on his butt and walked towards the boy. A light flashed. The phone fell to the ground with a bang. A capsule fell out from under the butt of the gun. Leech, an elder, Herodinity, personality, bloodthirsty, greedy, mission accomplished. I'm afraid there are still many beastmen in this world. However, not all beastmen are evil. Do you remember that girl? The girl who helped the old lady up? Just when Li Pingfan was halfway through his words, the system's voice sounded, interrupting him. Mission progress. The last step. Chapter 133. Terrifying giant lizard. HMM. What do you mean? Isn't the mission over? Please ask the evaluator to deliver the 3 transformed beast capsules to the Fangnan factory. The detailed location has been transmitted to the evaluator. After the delivery, the evaluation mission is officially over. Send. Li Pingfan took out the other 2 capsules in his pocket. Didn't the SKR organization appear 50 years later? What's the point of sending these capsules now? And why should they be sent to a designated location? Li Pingfan was puzzled. Because this does not conform to the time paradox and the timeline. If he went to the future, then perhaps someone had already arranged it, which is acceptable. After all, there are infinite possibilities in the future. But he went back to the past, which has already happened, and unless someone from the future went back to the past to deliver some message, it would not be possible to transmit it. Starting from the second beastman, Li Pingfan felt that something was wrong with this matter. Now he received this reminder of the final goal of this task, which made him curious. System, why is there no description of this in the original task? This system will only randomly select tasks from the heavens and worlds, parallel worlds and various timelines. The task is not provided by this system, and the task requires that the evaluator successfully transform 3 orc capsules through the You Are Not Human equipment before the final task target can be delivered. This matter is indeed too weird. Please rest assured, if there is an accident, this system will open the plane door for you as soon as possible and return to the original world. Accident? Li Pingfan smiled. Is he still scared? Do you really think he is still the first time he went to the Zuanfa world? A newbie who just came out of the novice village? Now he has very strong combat power. Let's go and have a look. Everyone get ready. My sixth sense tells me that the road below will be very interesting. In fact, Li Pingfan wanted to use other time to understand the background of this world. For example, the bubble library, to see the development progress of this world, as well as its history and culture. It seems that we can only talk about it later. Conspiracy theory, a complete conspiracy theory. It feels a bit dangerous. Anchor, be careful. Are you really going? Go, you must go. There is nothing to be afraid of when treading on mines. The host didn't have number 7 this time, but Mark 50 is a good upgrade. In a parallel world with similar technological civilization to our world, it is enough to travel. Pingfan walked into an empty alley, retracted the armor in sentry mode, and after dressing, he suddenly took off and rushed into the sky. Under the cold night sky, with the stars on his back, he disappeared in a blink of an eye. According to the route provided by the system, he rushed to the scene in just a few minutes. A factory under the ridge. The dark night, coupled with the dense jungle. The factory gate under the dim light looked particularly desolate. Pingfan landed slowly. This place was very deserted. He paid attention to the surrounding environment on the way here. It can be said that there is no proper road here. According to the understanding of cars in the previous life, ordinary cars cannot drive in. The task requires him to put 3 capsules at the door of the factory, and then he can leave. However, how can Pingfan do it according to the task requirements? He is very curious about what this place is used for. Why do you need these capsules? Isn't the SKR organization established 50 years later? Just when Pingfan was floating in the air, the factory gate opened. A military green truck that gave people a very domineering feeling rushed out. At the same time, there was a monitor lizard more than 4 meters long crawling out from the back, very fast. Apart from the promotion, it looks no different from ordinary monitor lizards. But for some reason, the first impression of this monitor lizard is a bit scary. Can ordinary monitor lizards jump up more than 10 meters? With a bang, the monitor lizard landed on the top of the truck, with its black tongue sticking out, and its big claws slapping down. With a click, the truck skin was directly scratched by it. Then the truck came with the move of dragon tail swing, and threw the monitor lizard on the car body off. The monitor lizard on the ground rushed out suddenly, and hit the truck fiercely. Boom. This truck that was more than 10 meters long and 4 or 5 meters high was knocked down by the monitor lizard. Can a monitor lizard more than 2 meters long have such destructive power? Smoke and dust rose up, and 4 people climbed out of the carriage with difficulty. One of them held a high-tech gun in his hand, pulled the trigger, and fired wildly at the monitor lizard. Bang, bang, bang. The bullets landed on the monitor lizard, creating patches of fire. Only a few bullets could pierce the monitor lizard's skin. Pingfan, floating in the air, could clearly see the monitor lizard's body through the steel armor. The bullets landed on its body, leaving only a few millimeters deep bullet hole, and could not penetrate directly. Roar. The monitor lizard roared. The continuous hail of bullets could only stop its steps, but could not harm its life. Is it so strong? Pingfan hadn't figured out what was going on. The monitor lizard discovered him in the air. The tail swept. A large stone weighing several hundred kilograms was pulled up and smashed towards Pingfan in the air. Bang. The hand turned into a laser cannon, emitting a laser, shattering the stone, and turning it into countless stone chips falling down. At this time, people near the truck also discovered Pingfan in the air. The monitor lizard seemed to want to challenge its limits, or perhaps it felt that those people were not to be feared, so it focused all its attention on Pingfan. I'm just paddling, you continue. Pingfan waved his hand. Unfortunately, the monitor lizard didn't understand. It just so happens that the family members in the live broadcast room have not seen the actual combat evaluation effect of Mark 50 yet. This is a good opportunity, let's give it a try. Pingfan is not a soft persimmon that can be manipulated by anyone. What's more, the one who wants to manipulate him this time is a beast. You are looking for death, I agree. Boom. Pingfan in the sky fell to the ground suddenly. Roar. Seeing Pingfan fall, the monitor lizard opened its mouth even more crazily and roared. With a roar, the monitor lizard rushed over. Using its 4 legs to exert force, its body bounced high and bounced into the air. You dare to show me your weak abdomen? Aren't you afraid of death? Pingfan raised his left hand, and a laser cannon slowly condensed. With a boom, a beam of light burst out from his left hand. It hit the monitor lizard's abdomen at a rapid speed. The giant lizard was blasted away by Pingfan's palm laser cannon, and it rolled several times on the ground before stopping. There was also a pool of dark green liquid on the ground. The giant lizard was still alive. Something is strange. Pingfan turned around suddenly and looked at the people hiding in the truck. He shouted, "What on earth is this thing?" If it were an ordinary giant lizard, it would have died under this palm laser cannon, but it is still alive now. And it is also leaking dark green liquid, which seems to be blood. It is a mutant monster that has lost control. Control? Before Pingfan could ask more questions, the giant lizard rushed over again frantically. Its eyes turned scarlet. It opened its mouth and suddenly sprayed out a mouthful of thick green viscous liquid. Chapter 134, Accidentally Creating an Organization. Fortunately, Pingfan's reaction speed was very fast. He jumped up and avoided the impact of the pool of liquid. But the ground he just stepped on was covered with that layer of liquid, and a string of white smoke rose up. The smoke and dust rolled, and the ground began to corrode continuously. Sir, this liquid contains a highly corrosive poison. You must be careful to deal with it, and remember not to get contaminated. You mean, the steel armor can't withstand it? No, but there will always be some damage. I understand. Pingfan, who moved away, cheered up. In addition to steel armor, he has other abilities. However, it's just that he can't use it to deal with a giant lizard. I'll let you experience what extreme speed is. Pingfan's left hand turned into a sharp dagger, and the rocket thrusters on his legs were fully opened. At the moment of rushing out, the air made bursts of explosions. To be more precise, it was a sonic boom. A series of sonic booms. Although his speed did not directly soar to 8,000 meters per second, it had exceeded the speed of sound. Before the giant lizard could react, the few cowards hiding near the truck were also there. They didn't react. The next second, not even a second, Pingfan had already appeared on top of the monitor lizard. This scene was like teleportation. Puff. The dagger passed by. The monitor lizard's originally hard skin was cut open by the sword. The speed was extremely fast. The dagger that Pingfan's left hand turned into was not stained with a trace of sticky corrosive liquid. The moment he cut the monitor lizard's skin, he once again lifted his body into the air. In an instant, he was more than 10 meters high in the air. This is a speed that human eyes can't catch at all. Stunned, those idiots stared blankly at the superhuman scene happening in front of them. The opponent is too weak, and there is no way to effectively evaluate the actual combat effect of Mark 50. Let's solve it first. After Pingfan said hello to the live broadcast room, he locked onto the wound on the monitor lizard's back that he had cut open with a sword, and a small bomb was released from his shoulder. Whoosh! With a string of fire, it pierced into the monitor lizard's wound fiercely. 3, 2, 1. Boom. The bomb exploded violently. The giant lizard turned into a piece of rotten meat in an instant, and most of the rotten meat and the sticky liquid were evaporated in the energy released by the explosion. Solved. The mutant giant lizard that could hit the truck was easily solved by Pingfan. When the smoke and dust cleared, those cowards finally plucked up the courage to come out. Thank you for saving my life. Boss, are you Tony Stark? Does Iron Man really exist? This sentence made Pingfan confused. What? Could it be that someone in this world also knows Iron Man? Yes, it is possible. The Marvel universe where Iron Man lives is an independent universe world in terms of intuitive sense. Since the timeline world where Pingfan lives can know it, it does not mean that other parallel worlds do not know it. This suit of armor should be Mark 50. It is really cool. It's awesome. We almost thought we would die here today. But, Iron Man, why are you here? Are you the SKR organization here? Pingfan asked. After hearing what Pingfan said, the few people who survived, but were still in fear, breathed a sigh of relief, and looked at each other. Look, we have been struggling for a long time over the name of this organization. Since the Iron Man boss has ordered it, why don't we call it the SKR organization? I think it's okay. Damn, this name is fashionable. It was passed unanimously. Our organization officially has its own name. Pingfan in the armored suit was now full of black lines on his face. So, he accidentally created an organization in a parallel world. Boss is awesome. It turns out that the mysterious SKR organization was created by the boss. Liu is domineering. This is really a beautiful coincidence. Boss, can you learn about this organization? I always feel that there is something wrong with the lizard just now. Boss, do you want to visit our factory? Factory? Yes. Pingfan nodded. He was still more interested in this factory built in the mountains. Come with us. Several people smiled and took the initiative to lead the way. Pingfan did not refuse and followed. Of course, he was highly alert the whole time. The factory was a little dark. Did Iron Man come here specifically to find us? Leapingfan hesitated for a moment and spread his palm. If he didn't give them these capsules, he might not be able to complete the task. Moreover, even if he gave them to them, he didn't have to worry about any accidents. Now he can control any emergency situation. This is the beast capsule? Is it really realized? Oh my god, that book really didn't lie to us. I didn't expect that the beast capsule we have been committed to researching for more than 10 years was actually realized by Iron Man. Everyone looked at the 3 beast capsules in Leapingfan's palm, and they all showed shock. Boss, can we take a look? Yes, just take a look. Please. Just as several people carefully took the capsules, the system's voice came. It prompted that the evaluation task had been completed. There was no way. If the evaluation task could not be completed, his live broadcast would be in vain. It seems that I can't kill you yet. The few people who got the capsules took a few steps at the same time with a sense of rhythm, and kept a certain distance from Leapingfan. Kill me, Leapingfan replied calmly. Who would have thought that Iron Man would really exist? The technology represented by your armored suit is really too enviable. Besides, even if we can't take away your iron suit, we won't let you go. This place can't be leaked for the time being. But don't worry, we will name the organization in your memory. SKR. Is this called walking into a trap? I feel that the host has a low IQ. You just go in when someone asks you to? That's because you don't understand how scary the host is. Don't forget, he can make you pregnant by glaring at you. Do you think these scumbags can be his opponents? In addition to that trick, Leapingfan also has the ability of the tremor fruit. Do you think you can do it, or the big lizard I just killed outside can do it? That lizard was just a defective product. An accident happened during the experiment, and it suddenly attacked, leaving us no time to defend. But now, we are ready. Don't worry, you won't die. We also want to ask you how you achieved the beast capsule technology. After everyone finished speaking, several stone gates slowly rose on the walls of the factory. With a rumble, the surroundings turned black. There were other caves inside the stone gates. Looking closely, several bright lights were emitted from the dark deep caves. Raw. Chapter 135 Powerful Attack. On the other hand, a platform quickly rose under the feet of those people, slowly lifting them up. After the platform rose to a high altitude, a passage appeared, and they walked down. Suddenly, a layer of thick bulletproof glass was covered above the flat roof, covering the entire factory. The space where Leapingfan was immediately became a place similar to a fighting cage. From beginning to end, he did not try to stop it. It's like, if ants are making various preparations in front of you, will you interrupt them? No, because to you, they are just things that can be killed with a flick of a finger. That's right. Not to mention anything else. Just the air shock that Leapingfan has mastered is just a matter of moving a finger. It's just right. Now we can have a good test of the actual combat capabilities of the steel armor. The so-called pitch black is only what people see. Leapingfan, who is attached to the steel armor, can easily see through the space inside the stone gate. After the stone gate was opened, the three-headed monster walked out slowly. A black gorilla with a height of nearly 3 meters, with protruding bone spurs all over his body, like a combination of a hedgehog. A large crocodile with a body length of nearly 7 or 8 meters. Every step it took, the ground seemed to tremble, much more terrifying than the giant lizard that Leapingfan had killed before. A black humanoid bat with a wingspan of 3 or 4 meters. Its most striking feature is the 2 huge fangs on its mouth. If it sucks human blood, it may be able to directly pierce the neck of a person and bite off the head. After seeing such an ugly and weird creature as the mountain-eating beast, Leapingfan felt for the first time that these things were better and not so scary. You can beg for mercy now. Take off your steel armor and tell us the secret of the beast capsule. We can consider giving you a quick death and will not torture you. The few people on the platform looked at Leapingfan fearlessly through the thick glass cover that they thought was a protective layer. They had tested this glass cover. The previous truck could not break it, even after driving at a speed of 120 pulses. These glasses were specially customized by them, specially customized to prevent these monsters from breaking out of the cage. Therefore, there is no need to worry about Iron Man being able to rush out. Moreover, even if Iron Man has the ability to break glass, he may not be able to take a few moves under these three monsters. Leapingfan ignored those people and looked at the monsters. He was also curious. Are these monsters themselves, or beastmen? What is the significance of this organization? 50 years later, the organization issued a task through the heavens and the worlds, was included in the system, and then asked himself to come here. Just give them the beast capsules, or destroy this place. After discovering the secrets here, forget it, let's evaluate the steel armor first. Leapingfan was just ready when the gorilla roared manically, jumped up in one step, and fell into the sky. He raised his fist full of bone barbs, like a meteor hammer, and it was no different from a mace. He smashed it heavily towards Leapingfan. With a bang, fire burst out. Leapingfan's left hand turned into a shield to block the fist of the gorilla. It was very powerful, full of energy. Some of them were beyond Leapingfan's imagination. After shaking off the gorilla, the giant crocodile quickly crawled over again, swung its huge tail, and cut a long groove in the ground, mixed with stone chips and slapped Leapingfan. Bang! The right palm turned into a laser cannon, hit the crocodile, and shook it away. The giant bat flapped its wings and swooped down at Leapingfan in the air. You are the only one who can fly? Leapingfan sneered and quickly analyzed the flight trajectory of the giant bat in combat mode. He turned 180 degrees, raised his foot, and pressed on the bat's head. At the same time, an electromagnetic foot buckle was immediately formed on his foot to contain it on the ground. The left palm burst out a laser cannon again, blasting at the bat's wings. Bang! Just as Leapingfan was dealing with the bat, the gorilla suddenly rushed behind him and punched him hard, throwing Leapingfan's body away. The force was very strong. Think about it, the semi-finished giant lizard before could knock over a truck, and these monsters that were much stronger than the giant lizard were even more powerful. Leapingfan rolled on the ground in embarrassment. He did not use high-intensity weapons directly in order to see how strong these monsters are. The gorilla was emboldened when he saw Leapingfan being knocked away by his punch. He stood up straight, hammered his chest with both hands, and roared loudly, as if he was the master here. Comparing strength? Leapingfan sneered sarcastically. His legs burst out with propulsion, and the whole person rushed towards the gorilla like a cannonball. His two fists turned into hammers, and the gorilla's eyes were full of stars. At the same time, his body turned 360 degrees in the air, and his feet turned into a large foot hammer, which was even more valuable. The power of fire propulsion, bang, hit the gorilla's chest, knocked it 100 meters away, and smoke and dust rose up. The foot hammer and hand hammer of this set of armor had previously injured Thanos. This gorilla could not be stronger than Thanos. As the gorilla was knocked away, several blue lights appeared from behind the steel armor shoulder guard, and several small tracking explosives flew out and rushed towards the gorilla. Boom. The entire Colosseum seemed to tremble, and smoke and dust filled the air. The bat's wings were destroyed, and the gorilla was almost cooked now. The only one who was still able to fight was the crocodile. The crocodile shook its huge body and rushed over at a speed that was not in proportion to its body. It opened its big mouth and bit down hard. Leapingfan reacted in time and moved away. The ground under his feet was suddenly bitten by the crocodile, which was nearly a meter deep. The bite force of the crocodile was very strong, and the bite force of this mutant monster crocodile was even stronger. Heh. Next, let's evaluate the most eye-catching function of this suit of armor. Leapingfan landed steadily on the ground. After the voice fell, 4 amplifiers rose on his back, and at the same time, his hands turned into laser cannons. Boom. A dazzling white light made the huge factory clearly visible, and even human eyes felt a little stinging. The laser cannons with 4 nano amplifiers are even more ferocious. Although the crocodile is strong, it may not be better than the black dwarf. At the beginning, the black dwarf was blown away by this terrible laser cannon, as weak as a kite with a broken string. The crocodile did not fly away. It was completely annihilated in the endless laser cannons. The laser cannon dissipated, and the dazzling white light in the factory dissipated at the same time. The black crocodile lay on the ground, with a piece of burnt smoke rising from its body, deader than dead. Next, it's your turn. On the platform, above the hard glass, several people were stunned and opened their mouths. After all, they had never seen the Iron Man armor in real life. But have they ever experienced these monsters that are too strong and can really withstand guns and cannons? At this moment, they were all defeated. Moreover, it seems that none of them have been seriously injured by the steel armor. This is natural. The steel armor is also equipped with multiple small missiles. These monsters can withstand bullets, but they may not be able to withstand missile bombardment. It is actually easier for Pingfan to kill them. Hurry up. You, don't be arrogant. We'll meet again in the future. Who knows who will call whom daddy next time. Not far from the platform, a helicopter was parked. At the same time, a door was opened on the top of the factory warehouse for escape. Is it so urgent? Pingfan smiled calmly and raised his hand to snap his fingers. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 136. Pretending to be cool is a laborious task. Crack. The cracking sound was particularly loud and piercing in this factory. The huge glass that gave these people a strong sense of security began to crack continuously. The cracks spread rapidly at a speed visible to the naked eye. In a blink of an eye, the transparent glass had become like a spider web. How could you do it? Even if you can break this glass, but you didn't do anything. Can you do it with a snap of your fingers? This glass can seal those monsters, but it may not be able to seal Iron Man, who can hit these monsters. But, even so, Iron Man has to attack it anyway. Whether it can be broken smoothly is also a problem. Maybe with some delay, they can escape. But now, this huge glass will collapse at any time. The problem is that Iron Man just snapped his fingers. An extremely ordinary snap of fingers. That's right. Is it strong for Pingfan to break down the psychological defenses of these people bit by bit? No. In front of me, it is useless and no different from a piece of paper. Pingfan's snap of fingers is certainly not an ordinary snap of fingers. While snapping his fingers, he used the ability he got from hybrid number 2 through embryo gaze. It was the air shock ability of the tremor fruit. Before that, he asked Friday to help carefully analyze the material and molecular density of this glass. The two worlds are parallel, and judging from the basic situation, the minerals in the two worlds should also be very similar. Sure enough, through careful testing, Friday did find the unstable point of this glass. Through the air vibration of a certain frequency, the sound waves generated will disrupt the stable molecules inside the glass when rushing towards it, thus showing signs of collapse. So Pingfan snapped his fingers and the glass was full of cracks. Boom. Collapse. Easily. Who did you say you would give a whole body to? Who would you give a quick death to? Pingfan asked calmly as he looked at the few people who fell from the sky and had not yet died. Iron Man at this moment. Just like a devil. The live broadcast room also exploded. So damn handsome. The host is so handsome. The snap of the fingers that shattered the glass just now was so cool. Host, you are worthy of being the king of the world. You can smash the glass by rushing or using a laser cannon, but you insisted on snapping your fingers. The quality of this glass is definitely not made in China. I still remember the Guinness World Record. The foreign friend who wanted to challenge the glass of our great China was not strong enough. Shoji construction. The host who is obsessed with snapping fingers. This is the Mark 50 in my mind. It is indeed a qualitative leap from the Mark 5. These scumbags actually looked at the big boss who harmed my family. Asshole, you don't think you have everything under control. I tell you, maybe we can't escape, but it's not that easy for you to kill us. As they said that, several people looked at each other with fierce eyes. Do you know what the real use of the beast capsule is? Haha, although we don't have the strength to make beast capsules, we know how to use them. Let's see how you can stop us. As they spoke, the three people took out a capsule each and pretended to swallow it. You are only one person. How many can you stop? Why should I stop you? Pingfan stretched out his hand. The steel armor covering his hand dissipated little by little, revealing a pair of white and slender hands that didn't look like they would kill people. Why can't I choose to kill them all? As the voice fell, the slender hand suddenly stretched out. It was like a rubber man. But it was different from the rubber man. Because his hand had already split when it flew out. One hand split into 3 huge axes. Snap. Is this the ability of the rubber man? Could it be that my anchor wants to be the man of the Pirate King? Pirate King? Who is looking for me? The domineering and mighty Mr. Zal. From today on, I have bought out the title of Pirate King. You can tell me how much it costs upstairs. I remember that my Luffy can't eat devil fruits. So, I, the anchor, can't stand up in the future? You have to stand up. Otherwise what will happen to my sex and happy life in the future? You want happiness? I'll find you tomorrow. Pingfan is not Luffy. He is not a rubber man. He will not be soft. This skill comes from bionics. New sterilization. Tissue division and remodeling ability. New sterilization can divide tissue cells and then reshape them into other shapes. Bold and drastic. The 3 were stunned. This is not Iron Man. This is a monster. A monster beyond imagination. What a pity. This is the last time they were stunned in their lives. Blood flowed all over the floor. Pingfan retracted his hand and returned to its original state with 3 capsules in his palm. After shaking off the blood on his hand, he covered the armor again. Bang. Another snap of the fingers. A series of sonic booms erupted in the air behind him. Boom 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 boom. The space can be seen with the naked eye, with ripples, as if with some force, the whole space will break apart. Several corpses, along with the factory, began to fall apart. Pingfan did not leave quickly. He faced the factory gate. With every step he took, the space behind him vibrated and seemed to break apart. The king of pretenders in the world, no one is more pretentious than you. The speed of the previous battle of iron armor was so fast, can't you teleport out at once? Just destroy the whole factory. Hehe, can the effect be the same? This is so domineering. I love it. It is indeed very domineering. As Pingfan walked out of the gate at normal speed, the ground behind him collapsed completely. There was a loud bang. Smoke and dust rose up. This factory no longer exists. Comrade Evaluator, you have worked hard. Hard work. Is it hard to pretend? It turns out that pretending is also a hard job. By the way, Comrade Evaluator, are you really from Earth? Or, is this some kind of new ability? There is no doubt about it. The various methods that Pingfan displayed in the live broadcast room of the other world were enough to shock all the audience. Of course, most people just watched for fun. There were also some people who were in panic. The true identity of the reviewer they suspected was now even more confusing. The person who appeared in the live broadcast room, although he looked very much like an earthling, was he really a human? Can a human hand suddenly change? Can it split into 3 broad axes? Although that hand looked very much like a human hand. In addition to this, the vibration in the air was enough to subvert the vibration of the entire factory, causing it to collapse into ruins in an instant. Could it be he took the tremor fruit? If you want to know, I'm afraid you can only wait until the live broadcast to test it. Chapter 137 The Eve of Leaving. This live broadcast is probably over. The mission was completed when I handed the capsules to them. Pingfan faced the live broadcast room and spread his palms. It's a pity that I didn't know what the book they were talking about was. At this moment, there were 3 capsules with different animals printed on them in his palms. They were crocodile, praying mantis and leech. However, there is one thing I may have understood. At the last moment, they wanted to swallow these beast capsules into their mouths. They also said that, although they didn't know how to create beast capsules, they knew how to use them. In other words, beast capsules are not something that will appear in 50 years. It may have left clues in this world as early as a guidebook, but because of the current technological civilization, it is impossible to create beast capsules. I don't know how they created those monsters. The host is too fast. You have to think clearly about what you are saying. Are you sure the host is too fast? Bullshit, I tried it. The anchor is quite durable. Suspecting the car is not based on evidence. Just driving. I have solid evidence. What I mean is that the anchor acted too quickly. He should have left 1 or 2 alive and then tortured them. I don't think they are strong men, and they may compromise in the face of survival. That makes sense. It just so happens that the two worlds have different civilization backgrounds, so we can let the friendly forces in the parallel world, or perhaps the friendly forces, experience the 10 tortures of my King Dynasty. Are you sure you are talking about the 10 tortures? Not a certain movie? The above person knows a lot. Can we borrow a movie to talk? A good barrage post. It has gone off track again. Pingfan sighed. He was very tired, although he was used to it. First of all, we are not the natives of this parallel world, and secondly, I will go back soon, and some things have nothing to do with us, even if we understand them clearly. Now Pingfan has an attitude of not caring about it. I will just do my evaluation task. Don't mess with me. If you mess with me, I'll kill you. It's that simple. That's right, but what are the hosts going to do with those beast capsules? If the hosts bring back the "you're not human" device, will it cause panic? To be more precise, will it also transform the people in our world into animals in the capsules? It's possible. A beast in human form, that's probably what it means. I suddenly panicked. I seem to have done something wrong. I don't want to turn into an animal. Pingfan was too lazy to explain. He was not a superhero, and he didn't need to take these capsules to become stronger. The main thing was that taking these capsules would give people the illusion of taking drugs. He would keep this device for a while, and when it was no longer interesting, he might replace it with the system. A distorted world can never be straightened out by one person, or maybe the world has not changed, but only people and their eyes have been distorted. I'm not afraid of anything else, but I'm afraid that the host has a collecting habit and wants to collect all the capsules of small animals. It's possible. Everyone has a collecting habit. When I was a child, I loved collecting all kinds of Ultraman models. Even if I turned into an animal, I would still be the most handsome dragon, the silly dragon in the zoo on for world waiting to be eaten by the host. Don't you know that the host is not interested in dragons now, and even has a little hatred for them? Oh, don't worry, I don't have a collecting habit. After briefly replying to the nervous barrage, he set his sights on the 3 capsules. How to deal with them? Throw them away, or forget it. Take them back first. If thrown away, Pingfan was worried that it would leave some harm, so it would be better to destroy them than to throw them away. Okay, now let's go and appreciate the mountains and rivers of this world. Anyway, Pingfan would never taste the delicacies. What spicy fish scales? Hiss. Just thinking about it can't help but get goosebumps all over my body. Whoosh. A ball of fire erupted from the bottom of each foot, pushing Pingfan up to the sky. Just as he left, a flying car with a police car pattern drove over in the air and appeared above the ruined factory. This car was the flying car that Pingfan encountered on the top of a high-rise building when he first arrived in the parallel world. After the car stopped here for a while, it seemed to search for some clues and then rushed out in another direction. Pingfan didn't know that there was a little tail following him secretly. He was now wearing Mark 50 armor and wandering in this parallel world. Although the world is parallel, this should also be the Earth, with the sun, moon, stars, mountains, rivers, and lakes. However, there are no mountains and rivers similar to those in our world here. Before this, Pingfan had asked Friday to hack into the network of this world, and through the network he obtained a map of this world. It's also normal. Although the two worlds are parallel to each other, they do not interfere with each other. The crustal movement of this world does not necessarily have to follow the trajectory of our world. Pingfan explained simply. So, the highest peak in this world is over 10,000 meters. At this moment, he was on his way to the highest peak. People here call this mountain the Heavenly Road. With the speed of Mach 50, he soon arrived at the foot of a mountain that stretched as far as the eye could see. It's soaring into the clouds, towering thousands of meters high. Let's go up and take a look. Friendly reminder, the mission has been completed. In order to prevent the evaluator from interfering with the original order of the parallel world, the parallel space channel will be opened in 1 minute and will exist for 10 seconds. If the evaluator gives up returning, it will be considered that the evaluator intends to stay in this world. What the hell? Countdown begins. Forget it. The parallel space channel is about to open. For the specific evaluation of this world, if there is a chance to come again, we will go and take a detailed look. Pingfan became more cautious. If there is really a next time, then he must play first. When he doesn't want to play anymore, he will do the evaluation task. Anyway, the evaluation task didn't say that there is a time limit before. What a pity. 60 seconds passed quickly. The parallel space channel that only exists for 10 seconds appeared behind Pingfan. He naturally couldn't waste time. He walked to the entrance of the parallel space channel, turned around, and fell on his back. Pretending to be cool is like the wind, always with me. Ever since he started pretending to be cool, he has fallen in love with the feeling of pretending to be cool and never misses any opportunity. But he was also thankful for one thing. Because just as his body fell towards the entrance of the parallel space channel, the flying car that he had seen at the beginning was now rushing towards him at a high speed. Pingfan's pupils contracted, and through the detection ability of the armor, his eyes penetrated the glass of the flying car and saw the appearance of the driver. Of course, because the video recorder entered the parallel space channel before him, only he could see the appearance of that person. But, just that one glance, it made Pingfan's hair stand on end. Chapter 138 Familiar Feeling. After the screen was disconnected for just a few seconds, Pingfan returned to the real world. Right in the ocean house. What happened to the host? Now I will tell you an idiom. Dumbfounded. The host must have traveled through parallel worlds frequently, causing his brain to what? Why do I feel like the host has traveled back and left his brain in the parallel world? It's possible. I can't help laughing. The host is still a little disappointed because he couldn't climb that 10,000 meter high mountain. Don't be afraid. We will go again when we have a chance. Yes, host, if your brain is not good, how can I give birth to a baby for you? Please don't tell me about the shadow scene during the last live review. I finally walked out of it. Upstairs, I will kill you, believe it or not. Host, you are a scumbag who abandoned his wife and children. Pingfan did not fail to bring his brain back. It's just that he still couldn't understand the scene he just saw. The face of the man in the flying car. Okay, this live broadcast ends here. Overall, this parallel world trip was quite successful. As for the You Are Not Human item, if anyone wants to experience it firsthand, they can sign up. Host, what are you dreaming about? I told you that the host has a hobby of collecting. He will definitely secretly collect small animal capsules, even though the capsules look so unique. Speaking of which, I'm now a little curious about the crazy actions of those people earlier. Did they want to eat the capsules because they could transform into monsters after eating them? I don't know, but now that you put it that way, I'm a little curious. +1. Pingfan didn't even want to look at the various bullet comments that were swiping frantically. He swiped his hand and the bullet comments disappeared. This is one of the host's privileges, blocking the bullet comments. It's just that he has never done it, because he is a host. Today, I'm really upset. See you at the same time next week in the live broadcast room of the Wanji Reviewer. Host, can I experience the feeling of pregnancy again before I leave? Although it is a bit perverted, it is really interesting. Just once. Just once. You are really crazy. You actually made such a suicidal request. You really feel uncomfortable if you don't do it for a day, right? Then upstairs, you should exit the live broadcast room now. No, I just want to prove that I'm strong. Well, it smells really good. What a pity. Pingfan had already blocked the barrage in advance and did not see the requests for suicide from the majority of netizens. Otherwise, maybe he would really consider it. If a person does not commit suicide in vain, if he does not commit suicide at such a young age, wouldn't it be a waste of youth? But there is no way. His mind is full of other things now, and he really can't spare the time to read the barrage. Without much nonsense, Pingfan ruthlessly ignored the barrage of strong requests for suicide from the major water friends, and then exited the live broadcast room. But he did not walk out of the steel armor. Pingfan in the helmet was extremely pale, and beads of sweat kept overflowing. Friday, help me export the last picture I saw before leaving the parallel world. Yes, sir. Friday's cold female voice fell, and then the picture appeared in front of Pingfan. In the picture, a flying car that looks like a current police car is coming from a distance. However, the car did not rush over directly, but kept a certain safe distance and stopped steadily in the air. Inside the car, a man's face was revealed. After Friday's continuous adjustment and enlargement, the face became clearly visible. This person is obviously not me. That's right. The man in the picture does not look the same as Pingfan. In order to verify this, Pingfan also asked Friday to import a photo of himself and then compare it. The similarity is only 30%. Could it be plastic surgery? The reason why Pingfan was surprised was that the first moment he saw this man, he seemed to see himself. It feels so real. It's like looking at a photo, and it's obvious that the two people look completely different. Although that person is also very handsome, his style is different from Pingfan. The most important thing is that Pingfan thinks that the handsomeness of that person is slightly inferior to his own. Since it's different, why does this feeling appear? This is not an illusion. The problem is, even if he watches the replay now, he will have this feeling. Forget it. This matter is hard to figure out. When they first met, Pingfan didn't care. When he noticed that there was a flying car approaching him, he immediately left the scene. Therefore, he didn't see the person driving the flying car the first time. Otherwise, he would definitely ask clearly, at least to get to know him. After walking out of the steel armor, Pingfan put the gun and capsule together. How to say this set of equipment? It is not very useful. It is not that anyone can be transformed into a beast capsule. The selected person needs to have a beast degree. Good news, good news. Just when Pingfan was a little distracted, the voice of the mermaid came from behind him. Oh. Finally, there is good news. You are finally back. The mermaid who ran to Pingfan took 2 deep breaths, and his tone revealed joy. Is it about the dark matter collector? Yes. The mermaid nodded excitedly. Pingfan was also very happy. This is a good thing. It is worth being happy. At least this way, he doesn't have to worry about the space blade being unusable. Tell me about it. Just when you were live streaming in the parallel world, the dark matter collector exploded. Pingfan's face, which had finally overflowed with joy, was once again filled with black lines. What the hell do you mean? You blew up my ocean house laboratory, and you said it was a good thing. I fucking. Listen to me first. Although there was an explosion, the detailed data of the dark matter collector has been integrated through experiments. The explosion occurred because there was an accident during the assembly process, and it will be fixed soon. That's good. Pingfan rolled his eyes. Compared to the dark matter collector, it doesn't matter if a laboratory explodes. Then why don't you hurry up and fix it? What are you still standing here for? Pingfan asked with a blink. The mermaid's heart suddenly ran through tens of thousands of alpacas. Yes, alpacas. Don't you care about how others survived the explosion? Damn scumbag. He really deserves to be called a pregnancy offender, a scumbag who abandoned his wife and children for hundreds of millions of people. Oh, I see. However, the mermaid's nature now includes loyalty to Pingfan. Just as the mermaid was about to leave, her eyes fell on the "You are not a human" equipment at Pingfan's feet. You are not a human. What nonsense. You are not a human. No, you are not a human at all. The mermaid was very sad. This was not the result she wanted. The result was a personal attack, a scumbag. I mean, I recognize it. It says you are not a human. What? Chapter 139. The offline mermaid comes over. Go on. This guy has seen props from parallel worlds. What else haven't you seen? You've seen the mountain-eating beast. You also said you've seen that tsunami. Now you've seen the "You are not human" in the parallel world. You're just bragging. I remember seeing a book about beastmen, and beastmen need a prop to transform. The mermaid frowned, his face solemn. I need to recall the contents of the book. Okay. Book. When Pingfan heard about the book, he became excited. He remembered that in the parallel world number 2, those idiots who were looking for death had also talked about books. Those people also said that their technology could not make the transformation gun come true, but they could know how to use the beast capsule. Now the mermaid talked about the book again. Could it be that this thing also appeared in 500 years? Or, in their world, there is also one. Pingfan was clearly anxious. The mermaid once said that he was shocked by the appearance of the parallel world. Although he knew that the parallel world existed, even in the world 500 years later, there was no technology that could open the channel to the parallel world. So, it is possible to explain. This book not only exists in the parallel world, but also in this world. Li Pingfan looked at the mermaid. If he had an expression now, it would definitely be a series of bubbles. Why don't you say something? The mermaid's expression returned to normal from solemnity. To be more precise, it should be the cuteness, before returning to normal. It was as cute as before. Li Pingfan's face was full of question marks. What's wrong with you? The mermaid just stared at Li Pingfan, grinning and revealing a natural smile. Fuck, you're not going to let me down at the last minute, are you? Li Pingfan's pupils widened, and he pressed the mermaid's shoulders with both hands, and kept shaking her. Brother, you're not kidding, are you? Big sister, don't tease me. There was a sticky liquid on the mermaid's skin, which Li Pingfan usually disliked, but now he couldn't care less. It's useless to talk about the book, but you have to assemble the dark matter collector for me. What's your situation now? An hour later, Li Pingfan gave up. He collapsed on the ground, with a look of despair on his face. He couldn't help but sigh. This world is really unfair to him. He finally found someone to communicate with, but now he's gone. The key is that, whether they can communicate is not important. What's important is the dark matter collector. I'll do it myself. Li Pingfan turned over, and jumped up from the lawn. Oh. This time, Li Pingfan did a carp jump for the first time, and successfully stood up. It should be the benefit of continuous experience in the virtual game world. The body has been greatly strengthened. It seems that I have to train more in the future, and strive to improve my physical fitness by a large margin. Li Pingfan now understands the truth. High technology is always a foil. No matter how powerful high technology is, it has some weaknesses. Steel armor is strong enough. Jarvis is strong enough. When he met the Grey Fox of Yuxu Palace, wasn't he disturbed by a strange magnetic field? He lost control of Jarvis for a short time. Fortunately, at that time, the one wearing Mark V was hybrid number 2. If it was him, he might be in danger if he was not careful. Life-threatening. Therefore, the real strength must be the strength of oneself. Come a little bit at a time. After stretching, Li Pingfan decided to do it himself. The mermaid could not be relied on. Although he didn't know why the memory of this thing suddenly lost power, he didn't know whether it could be restored. However, in order not to harm the mermaid's brain, Li Pingfan did not plan to use the time machine a second time. He could only rely on luck to see if he could recover. In the laboratory, although it had experienced an explosion, it was obvious that the situation was not very serious. After all, it is a high-tech product after more than 500 years. It can recover so quickly after an explosion. After Li Pingfan arrived at the laboratory, he roughly checked and found that the various equipment was basically not affected. The mermaid said that the detailed data has been set and only needs to be assembled. Li Pingfan glanced around. In the entire laboratory, only a display device similar to a computer was turned on. After projection, a light blue panel floated in the void, with various operation symbols on it. In front of the display screen is an operation space covering an area of about 20 square meters. The operation space is fully enclosed and blocked by a glass cover of different materials. There are various robotic arms inside, from large to small. In addition to various robotic arms, there are also countless parts and equipment piled up, which look like they are just waiting to be assembled. Fortunately, the operating panels in this laboratory have been changed to modern text, otherwise Li Pingfan would have a hard time understanding them. The first step is to install the element containment bottle. There is something similar to the inner shell of a thermos bottle in the operating room. Of course, Li Pingfan doesn't know how this thing is made of. Although this thing looks like a thermos bottle, it is definitely not the inner shell of a thermos bottle. According to the sequence marked on the display screen and various detailed data, Li Pingfan understood. The mermaid had long been worried that her memory would suddenly lose power, so she made preparations in advance. Hey, you irresponsible master, there is a stereoscopic projection recorder on your left hand side, turn it on. Just as Li Pingfan was operating the control screen, a line of words suddenly popped up. According to the meaning of these words, Li Pingfan walked to the side and turned on a stereoscopic projection recording device. Soon, a mermaid constructed by a phantom appeared beside Li Pingfan. I have marked the various materials of the dark matter collector in order, and the detailed operation steps are also marked on this display screen. You just need to follow the steps one by one. I should have lost my memory now. If my memory does not return within 10 days, please use the time machine on me again. I don't want to be a mermaid forever. After that, the mermaid began to instruct in front of the operating table. The steps were very slow, but also very detailed. Li Pingfan began to try to control it according to the mermaid's instructions and assemble the dark matter collector by himself. However, is it really necessary to reawaken the mermaid's memory? Li Pingfan has no idea now. This machine must have damaged the brain's memory cortex. Forget it, just treat me as an irresponsible master. The flexible mechanical arm quickly began to work according to the operating instructions. A device similar to a small satellite station appeared in the general outline. This should be the prototype of the dark matter collector. Chapter 140. My Li family doesn't want to accept. With the help of the mermaid, it took Li Pingfan a whole day to assemble the dark matter collector. After nearly 20 hours, he walked out of the laboratory. His eyes were full of bloodshot. It was too much trouble to assemble the dark matter collector. Li Pingfan didn't recognize many of the delicate parts. If the mermaid hadn't sorted the things clearly in advance, left extremely meticulous and detailed operating steps on the operating table, and left a practical projection, it would really be impossible to complete it. The dark matter collector will take in the dark matter absorbed in the space gap and convert it into usable element blocks. Now that the nano god level middle finger is on the verge of breaking, it is a bit difficult to use it to convert dark matter. Although the collection speed is relatively slow, fortunately the mermaid has prepared several sets of materials. After the first hands-on experiment, the speed and efficiency of doing it again will be faster. Li Pingfan spent the whole day in the ocean house. In addition to the first one, he has made a total of 3 dark matter collectors. According to the efficiency of the 3 dark matter collectors, it is estimated that collecting dark matter for a month can provide Li Pingfan with a displacement within 3,000 kilometers. Of course, the amount of dark matter consumed varies depending on the displacement distance. According to his usual use, it can be maintained. But, do you really want the mermaid to experience time without regrets? Li Pingfan once thought about exchanging this prop for the system or thing to search for memory, and one person can only use it once. It is not very useful to him, but now it is better to keep it. The mermaid has no memory now, and I don't know if it can be restored. Although Li Pingfan is worried that frequent use of the time machine will cause damage to the mermaid's brain memory cortex. However, the mermaid's words are always vivid in Li Pingfan's mind. If it were him, he might also take the risk to retrieve his memory. Not willing to be a stupid mermaid for the rest of his life. Forget it. I'll give you a few days first. The mermaid said that if the memory can't be restored within 10 days, let him help. Then wait for 10 days. Anyway, I'm not in a hurry about that book. After struggling for a while, Li Pingfan still didn't replace the "You Are Not Human" props. As for the 3 beast capsules, he temporarily left them in the ocean house, a cafe outside Jiangnan University. Li Pingfan walked in. Song Wanling asked him to meet here, saying that they wanted to talk about work. In the cafe, Song Wanling was talking and laughing with a man in a suit and tie, with a delicate appearance and elegant gestures. After seeing Li Pingfan, Song Wanling waved at him and motioned him to come over. Come, let me introduce you. Laoli, this is the largest shareholder of Dalksha platform and the chief CEO, Mr. Lin Qilin. Song Wanling smiled and looked at Lin Qi and said, Mr. Lin, this is the developer and designer of the creator software and the only legal person of the creator software, Mr. Li Pingfan. Hello. Li Pingfan stretched out his hand and shook hands with Lin Qi and sat next to Song Wanling. Xiaoling, you want me to use the anchor resources of the Dalksha platform to help promote creator, right? Yes, but we will pay the right price. Song Wanling smiled. And, in addition to this, we want to integrate into the Dalksha platform's online mall in the first step. Xiaoling. Lin Qi smiled and sipped his coffee elegantly. If you just want some big anchors to promote, it's very simple. I will do my best to help you with your matter, but if you want to integrate into the online mall, it will be a bit difficult. First, we don't know whether your software is attractive or not. Second, the online mall is not something I can decide on my own. After all, the clothing of the Dalksha platform's online mall has been bought out exclusively by someone. Besides, if you do such a big move directly, my words alone will not count. Of course. Linky smiled and looked at Songwan Ling affectionately. Xiaoling, if you are willing to agree to me, let alone promote the whole platform, I can help you find big anchors on other platforms. Mr. Lin, don't get me wrong. Songwan Ling looked at Linky with some disgust. But she couldn't get angry directly. After all, Linky's status on the Dalksha platform was much higher. Then I can't help. Linky shrugged. In this case, we can contact the anchor privately to advertise. Li Pingfan, who had been silent, spoke up. Ha ha ha. Li Pingfan just finished speaking when he heard Linky's unprecedented laughter. You can give it a try. I can't guarantee other platforms, but on the Dalksha platform, if there is an anchor who accepts your cooperation, I, Linky, will take your last name. Linky glanced at Li Pingfan coldly. Okay. Li Pingfan didn't care about these bullshit threats. Anchor? Haha, he himself is a big anchor with tens of millions of traffic. Threatening me? It's funny. Okay, within 7 days, if you can find a host on the Dalksha platform with tens of thousands of people in the live broadcast room to help advertise for you, the Dalksha online mall will open the door for you. Linky said, looking hopefully at Songwan Ling. Of course, if you can't find it, I don't want you to do anything. Just go and play, if you want to. Just don't take my Xiaoling with you to mess around. Linky, you're going too far. What does what I do have to do with you? Xiaoling, your father asked me to take care of you when he went abroad. I'm just worried that you'll be cheated by certain people. They just make a rubbish app and want you to invest in it. Haha, I've seen a lot of people like this. Mr. Lin, right? Let me interrupt. Li Pingfan knocked on the table. Have you used my creator? Do you know my creator? Are you sure it's as bad as you say? Helen Key sneered, showing his disdain. Mr. Lin, I hope you can prepare your household registration book and remember to change your surname when the time comes. How shameless. Lin Key snorted coldly. Xiaoling, do you really think it's promising to cooperate with such a person to invest and develop? As long as you are willing, I can let you manage the Dalksha live broadcast platform. Isn't it better than working with him? Mr. Lin, don't bother. After that, Songwan Ling stood up and patted Li Pingfan on the shoulder. Let's go. The two left. Songwan Ling was so angry that she exploded. She didn't expect Lin Key to threaten her with such a thing. It can be seen that Li Key likes you very much. Who is Li Key? Isn't it the guy just now? My name is Lin Key. Oh, yes, he changed his surname to Li after 7 days. But my Li family doesn't want to accept such an idiot. Why are you so optimistic? Songwan Ling wanted to cry. Of course I'm optimistic. Maybe he forgot that you are also an anchor, so you should have a lot of people. Li Pingfan smiled. It's useless. Lin Key is not stupid. He will definitely limit the traffic of my live broadcast room. And if he says that the anchors of Dalksha platform are not allowed to accept this task, no one will dare to accept it, unless. Chapter 141 Mining Boy. Unless what? Unless the Wanji reviewer, he has the Dalksha platform, and he is a big anchor with tens of millions of traffic. He doesn't take anyone seriously. It would be great if he could advertise for us. Do you think it's impossible? Of course it's impossible. Songwan Ling led Li Pingfan into a spicy hot pot shop. Boss, two of you. How do you know it's impossible if you haven't tried it? Who is he? He is a big anchor with tens of millions of traffic, and we don't know him. Songwan Ling sighed, picked up a kidney, and handed it to Li Pingfan. Here, give it to you. Oh, this one is not bad either. As she said that, Songwan Ling began to pick up things for Li Pingfan. Kelp, black mushrooms, blanched leeks. Wait, I can pick them up myself. The problem is that Li Pingfan doesn't like these things. Huh. Songwan Ling looked at Li Pingfan in confusion. Don't you like to nourish? What is it? Li Pingfan realized belatedly that the meat and vegetables Songwan Ling picked up for him all had one thing in common. That is, to nourish the kidneys. The other people at the table looked at Pingfan. His eyes were playful. Ah, who the hell spread rumors? I'll smash his head. Wang Heyo. That grandson told Song Wanling at the sports meeting that he ate the 10 ingredients feast every day. Kill him. Must kill him. Anyway, I'll think of a way to deal with this matter. If it doesn't work, don't bet with that guy Linky. If there is no Doucha platform, we will go to other platforms to advertise. Song Wanling smiled and didn't take the previous trouble to heart. I don't think so. After all, we haven't tried it, and both of us have been lucky viewers of Wanji Reviewer. We can try to ask him when he is live broadcasting. Maybe it will work. Pingfan said. Oh, okay. Song Wanling sighed. After eating a few bites of food, the two fell silent. No more talk about software promotion. By the way, I'm going to go hiking this weekend. Do you want to go with me? No. Pingfan didn't even think about it and shook his head to refuse. Song Wanling looked at Pingfan curiously. Then why did you follow her last time? Following. Pingfan suddenly remembered that coincidental night. It's not that I don't want to go, but I have something to do this weekend, and the software needs to be adjusted. Please be careful. His character is a pervert who has a crush on Song Wanling. Damn. If I had known earlier, I should have changed my excuse. Well, I wanted to invite you to go to Baguniang Mountain to relax. Song Wanling didn't mean to force Pingfan. Baguniang Mountain. After hearing this familiar place, Pingfan suddenly remembered something. Beautiful, you are so beautiful. Pingfan, who was so excited that he couldn't express it in words, was a little out of control. When he said beautiful, he didn't mean the person. He was saying that Song Wanling did a beautiful job again, which helped him remember something. You are so annoying. There are so many people. Song Wanling's face flushed, and she lowered her head and stopped talking. After eating a spicy hot pot quickly, Pingfan hurried back to school after paying and leaving. Baguniang Mountain. He thought of a mountain. The mountain where he first met Song Wanling. That place was surveyed by Jarvis, and it was said that a mineral with its own magnetic field was found, but he didn't take it seriously later. Then he thought about the ore that was picked up from the Grey Fox of Biao Palace during the battle, and was later eaten by the mountain devourer. Could it be that mountain? After returning to school and finding an empty place, Pingfan rushed to Mount Baguniang through the space blade. After arriving at Mount Baguniang, he put on the Mark 50 armor and went to the mountain where he first met Song Wanling. Friday, how is it here? Does it contain a natural magnetic field? Yes, sir. There is indeed a mineral here that has its own magnetic field, which is very strange. Is there any recorded data about this kind of ore? Pingfan asked. No. Just after he finished speaking, Friday continued, this kind of ore has never been discovered. At least no records have been found in any known database. Sir, do you need me to hack into some private ore databases? No, you come and look for where we can collect some, and we will dig some back. Okay, sir. These ores can be used as accessories, especially for the magnetic storm reaction ball. It is simply a natural buff bonus. Ocean House. In addition to attending classes recently, Pingfan has switched to mining. These ores are indeed similar to the ores that Grey Fox took out. And the closer you get to the ore, the more you can feel the huge and strange magnetic field. Even Friday's AI operating system, which can challenge any limit, felt the signal weakened when it approached the mountain full of this magnetic field ore. Think about it. Friday can maintain outer space operations. How terrifying must the magnetic field of that mountain be? According to the data integrated by Friday, if a magnetic storm reaction ball is dropped on that mountain, the chain effect caused by the explosion is no less than the energy released by 10 Hiroshima atomic bombs exploding at the same time. There may even be more. Sir, in addition to containing a very unique magnetic field, I found that this mineral also has a unique element in its material. If it is smelted, perhaps a new metal element can be obtained. Are you sure? But I can't do it. It's okay, sir. You can set up hybrid number 2. The Jarvis system knows how to smelt and purify it, and it can be operated through the laboratory of the Ocean House. In that case, then well, can you roughly estimate what this new metal element is useful for? Amplification. It should be the ability to amplify, but everything needs to be refined from the metal element to know. Okay. Amplification isn't the ability of the magnetic storm reaction ball to amplify the magnetic field explosion. If this feature can be used for other places, then it is. Just when Pingfan was thinking about waiting until this new metal element was researched, a powerful energy suddenly burst out in the ocean house. The 3 capsules that Pingfan had placed in the ocean house before were all shining at this moment. What's going on? Pingfan, who was wearing armor, immediately entered a state of combat readiness, staring at the rays of light. Was the light coming from the beast capsule? Wait, could it be that these magnetic fields interfered with the beast capsules? With a bang, the light faded. A crocodile, a mantis, and a leech all appeared at this moment. The key point is that the size of each one has been magnified. The magnification property magnified these things? No. Pingfan frowned. He had studied it before and found that these capsules could not be released and could not be transformed back by the transformation gun. Could it be related to these minerals again? Chapter 142 Magical Element. Sir, in the Marvel Universe, some people can mutate through genetic recombination. Of course, not only in the Marvel Universe, but also in the world you live in now. The mermaids 500 years later are different because they have merged the genes of fish, thus changing their own form. Have they gained extraordinary abilities? What do you mean? Just as several huge beasts came out of the capsule again, the Armored Intelligence System Friday said something. These beast monsters are somewhat different from the monsters and mermaids that have mutated through genetic recombination in the Marvel Universe. The genes in their bodies seem to have been completely changed. There is no sequence of human genome sequences, and they are all beasts. But if they are simply beasts, they will only be ordinary animals. The reason why they can become powerful is that their genes have also been amplified by some means. So, do you suspect that this you are not human device, which amplifies the ability of genes, is to absorb and transform the mysterious element in those minerals? Pingfan asked. Maybe there is this possibility. In a sense, they are no longer human beings. The genes in their bodies have been completely beasted. It is unlikely that they want to return to human beings. Understood. At the same time, the first time these huge animals appeared, sensing danger, the mountain-eating beast suddenly came back. The mermaid also ran from a distance. Hybrid number 2 floated in the air. This is all the combat power that Pingfan has, except those high-tech products. I miss the first day of number 7. Pingfan sighed. A life without number 7 is an incomplete life. Roar. Just as several beast-like animals roared, the mountain-eating beast couldn't help but roar. In the world of Zoanfa, the mountain-eating beast is at the front of the food chain. Its power is still very powerful. The roar shook the ground. The nature of several animals told them that this guy floating in the air, although ugly, is very scary. The mermaid walked over slowly, opened her mouth, and blew out a puff of breath. The air vibrated, and the 3 monsters were instantly knocked to the ground and flew more than 10 meters away. Coward. Pingfan shrugged, expressing his speechlessness. These guys are now lying on the ground. They are motionless, afraid that they will be slaughtered if they are not careful. Have you ever seen a praying mantis more than 3 meters tall? The 2 front claws are like 2 sharp knives. Have you ever seen a crocodile that is nearly 10 meters long? It is covered with armor, like a dragon from ancient times. Have you ever seen a leech that is as thick as a bucket and 2 meters long? The suction cups in its mouth are covered with tentacles. If you are bitten, the blood may be sucked dry in 1 second. Now, this unimaginable monster. That's right, they have exceeded the scope of animals, and it is not an exaggeration to describe them as monsters. Several monsters surrendered obediently in front of Pingfan, all lying on the ground, not daring to move. The reason why these monsters have become honest is because of the reappearance of pregnancy. Pingfan put on the true love glasses and spent 10 points to open a pregnancy gaze. What is love? What is filial piety? As a result, these monsters who didn't know why still foolishly thought that Pingfan's glowing eyes were a bit beautiful. Afterwards, they experienced the pain of childbirth respectively. This also proves a truth. That is, true love glasses do not distinguish between species. Don't show off in front of me. Lee Pingfan, wearing armor, stood in the center. The mountain swallowing beast soared in the air. On the left and right sides were the mermaid and the hybrid number 2. No 2's mask opened, and white tissue cells flew out, transforming into various weapons in the air, either a slashing knife or a broad axe. This is completely not the same level. Last time Lee Pingfan single-handedly challenged 3 monsters, they would not be much stronger than those 3. At least, the mountain swallowing beast alone can do it. Sir, although there is no record of the mountain swallowing beast in the database, the mountain swallowing beast should be a very high-level creature. The majesty of the beast is innate, and these beast transformed monsters can naturally feel the pressure from the body of the mountain swallowing beast. In that case, mountain swallowing beast, you will be their boss and tame them for me. If you can't tame them, I will prepare a big pot and stew them for you all. The mountain swallowing beast is a very high-level creature, and it saw Lee Pingfan at first sight when it was born. Therefore, it obeyed Lee Pingfan's orders. It just so happened that this was also an opportunity. It would be better to tame them than to kill them. Anyway, in the ocean house, there was no need to worry about them causing any trouble. In addition to the external defense system, the ocean house also had outstanding internal defense capabilities. Although Lee Pingfan had not done any experiments, he estimated that even the Mark 50 would not be able to destroy the ocean house from the inside. These little scums still wanted to make trouble. You 3, while I'm away, if they want to escape or create any danger, just kill them directly, don't worry about it. In order to prevent any accidents, Lee Pingfan still gave orders to hybrid number 2 and the mermaid respectively. In this way, even if the mountain devouring beast was fooled at a young age, someone could take care of them. Jarvis. Because Lee Pingfan controlled hybrid number 2 with a separate brain, he could communicate directly with Jarvis. Set the system. You go to the laboratory of the ocean house, purify these ores, and see if you can decompose and refine new metal element. Lee Pingfan was still very interested in the magnified characteristic. Okay, sir. Although he has been using Mark 50, he still prefers Jarvis's operating system for personal sentiment. Let's go and continue mining. In the past few days, Lee Pingfan went straight to Baguniang Mountain whenever he had time. After his investigation in the past few days, he found that only that mountain contained the magnetic ore. During this period, Lee Pingfan also figured out a problem. If it is the amplification feature, how does the transformation gun absorb these monsters into capsules? This question was also answered by Friday. The concept of amplification is relative, just like thermal expansion and contraction. After hearing about this feature, he suddenly remembered another character in the Marvel universe, Ant-Man. If he can control the elemental power of magnification and reduction, then this will definitely be a qualitative leap for him. A few days passed in a flash. The mining boss once again successfully waited for the eve of the live broadcast. System, come on, give a comprehensive evaluation of my last live broadcast. In view of the reviewer's live broadcast results, the level of this system after evaluation is A+. The reviewer's personal permanent exclusive mall will have a chance to add a prop slot or refresh existing props. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 143 Review, Fist of the Messiah. The first item, the Traveler's Kettle. Well, are you still worried about not bringing enough water when traveling in the desert? Are you collapsed because you can't urinate in an emergency? Will your life be in danger because you can't find an oasis? The Gospel of Travelers is here. Traveler's Kettle, a different kettle, a kettle that adds color to life. This kettle was launched in 2050 and is produced by the Desert Island Survival Dairy Company. It has a purification function. Whether it is urine or sewage, it can remove impurities and protect your health. Damn. The first prop is so perverted. It's even more perverted than 100 times arm strength ball. Are you going to let him review this? How to review it? I guess the urine nature of this group of water friends in the live broadcast room will definitely let him test the purification ability of urine on the spot. It's so perverted. I like it very much. The anchor reviews this prop, no other meaning. I just want to see if the anchor urinates while standing or squatting. The upstairs is asking for secrets. High risk warning. I still miss my 100x arm strength ball. Read on. The second item, real anti-wolf stockings. As the saying goes, beauty depends on the thighs. It's the season to show your thighs again. Are you worried about your thighs getting tanned? Are you worried about being bitten by mosquitoes? It doesn't matter, anti-wolf stockings will solve your worries. Made of thin materials, wearing them will not affect the whiteness of your thighs, and even the leg hair is clearly visible. The most important thing is that the stockings have a static electricity retention function. When your thighs are touched by a dirty pig, please don't panic, just wait for the howl of the coloring pig. Anti-wolf stockings, which came out in 2035, are made by the company pretending to be a man. Everyone can look forward to it. This stocking will be available in 15 years, and you can experience it then. I want to see it now, and I want to lick the host's hairy thighs. Upstairs, do you know what it means to be disgusting to death? Can you have some billion? How could the host have leg hair? That's right, the anchor must be a cute girl who saves fabric for the country. Review this one. Review this one. Today's props are a little exciting. The third prop, the Bebe mask. Do you often encounter trolls in society? Do you sometimes regret not having a 3-inch tongue? Don't worry, the Bebe mask, it's here. Haha, want to see who can talk more than who? The Bebe mask, the nemesis of the trolls. Through the imported memory chip, there are more than 3,000 ways to taunt people. Even if you taunt someone to death, you won't be killed. This prop was launched in 2107 and released by Little Mouth Special Flexible Technology Co. Limited. It is said that the founder of this mask is a stutterer. It may take 3 or 4 minutes to say a sentence, and he is often taunted to collapse. Come on, give me a pair, I can't taunt you to death. Talking a lot is not a real skill. The troll is the great supernatural power. Bebe mask. See who can talk more than who. The fourth item. Oh, this item is amazing. After reading the introduction, Pingfan didn't rush to tell the story. He had a definition in his mind. The fourth item to be evaluated this time. The Fist of the Messiah. Pingfan slowly uttered 5 words. Similarly, this item has a customized evaluation task, which requires the ability to test the item. The host will provide a virtual ring. I thought today was a driving stream. Has it turned to passion so quickly? The Fist of the Messiah. It sounds familiar, but I can't remember what it is. The upstairs has no childhood. I think many people should not know this item. It comes from the parallel world, the world of Iron God weapons, the exclusive item of the son of the plane Geo Gontibing. It was created with great passion by the previous generation of the son of the plane. This boxing glove has another beautiful name, the Fist of Jesus. It will send you to see God in the true sense. It is understandable that Pingfan chose this item. This is a brand new weapon that combines mechanical technology. It is obviously better than other props for him. At least his own safety is guaranteed. Iron God weapon, why is it so familiar? I remember that it was an anime I watched in my childhood. The person above exposed his age. I only know Boonie Bears and Green Grassland. Silly Bear Brothers on Green Grassland. Messiah's Fist, Jesus Fist, this thing is interesting. Let the anchor review it. The sky cracked. The express delivery arrived. Let me briefly introduce the background first. The parallel world of the Iron God weapon is a society with extremely advanced human civilization and technology. The mechanical empire dominates the universe with its large number of outstanding scientists and highly intelligent robots. The huge mechanical kingdom was established. The inventor of the gloves, Hualun, was once one of the 4 spiritual generals of the mechanical empire. As he spoke, Pingfan opened the paper box. In the paper box was a set of dark green gloves, which were made entirely by hand, and had many precise circuits and functions. Pingfan took out the gloves. At the same time, this pair of boxing gloves has also been slightly modified, because its special move needs to combine the sunlight absorbed by itself with the colorful phosphorescence emitted by another companion of Takenia Tetsuo EX before it can be used. Since we don't have colorful phosphorescence, the special move of the boxing gloves has been adjusted by the host. it only absorbs the sunlight, and the lethality will also be greatly weakened. After that, Pingfan put the boxing gloves on his hands. Next, let's talk about the meaning of the ring. The evaluation task needs to test the compatibility of this pair of boxing gloves, so the host temporarily provides us with a virtual ring, and some opponents will appear randomly in the ring. The evaluation is carried out through actual combat. There is another point that Pingfan didn't say. In this ring, there is a chance to explode equipment. Maybe it's equipment, maybe it's talent. Of course, it's only for the randomly selected projection opponents in the ring. Just when Pingfan put the full set on his right hand, a ray of light fell from the sky. A towering ring covering an area of several hundred square meters appeared out of thin air. The ring is about 10 meters high, with steps leading up only on the left and right sides. Except for the 2 doors at the end of the steps on both sides, the rest of the ring is surrounded by layers of electric arcs. It's just a pity that this ring is provided temporarily, and the ring will be taken back after the evaluation. Okay, let's welcome the first opponent to arrive at the ring now. As soon as the voice fell, a beam of light arrived from the ring out of thin air, and Pingfan walked towards the ring. The light never dissipated, so it is unknown who the first opponent to arrive is. When Pingfan pushed open a door on the ring and officially stepped into the ring, the beam of light completely dissipated. The appearance of the opponent instantly detonated the already lively live broadcast room, adding fuel to the fire. I suddenly seem to be about to see the ending, where the anchor is pressed to the ground and rubbed. He is courting death. The first opponent is him. It may not be too late for the anchor to kneel down and beg for mercy now. I miss you so much. Right square bracket. Chapter 144 I give up. The beam of light that reached the right side of the ring from the void gradually dissipated. A person with a metallic texture appeared in the beam of light. He is called a person only because his body looks like a person. To be more precise, he looks more like a robot. A robot. Number 7. Pingfan's eyes were filled with tears. Most of the viewers in the live broadcast room shed tears on the spot. Of course, it was not because they miss number 7 so much. It was because they felt sorry for the host. Number 7, who stood and played with the ancestors of the Zoanfa world, could blow their heads off with his bare hands. The host should be pressed to the ground and rubbed by number 7 to a large extent. The host seemed to be choked up. He and number 7 were originally iron brothers, but now they have to fight each other with fists. Alas, go. I want to see the host get beaten. Pingfan's eyes were filled with tears. It was not that he missed number 7 so much, although he felt a little sad and regretful for not being able to bring number 7 back from the other world. But it was not enough for a tough guy to cry. Fuck, system, are you going to kill me? Pingfan didn't think the fist of the Messiah was weak. After all, this fist was called "Send you to see Jesus." However, it was only relative to the second generation vibranium, and it was not very strong. Those ancestors in the Zoanfa world were so arrogant, right? As a result, wasn't the ending unprecedentedly similar? System, did you bring back the number 7 that I forgot in the Zoanfa world? Host, this number 7 is just a projection, not the number 7 that you exiled to the Zoanfa world. Don't stir up the relationship between me and Zyaoki. I forgot, but the conditions on the objective level did not allow it. Not exile. Just be happy. By the way, if it's a projection, how strong is Zyaoki's combat power? Since it's a projection, it's naturally 100% comparable. You're so cruel. Do you dare to be more arrogant? Pingfan really didn't think he could handle the number 7. It didn't make sense to Westy Llama or not, although I didn't know whether this ring would block the assistance of external props. But Pingfan didn't plan to Westy Llama. He really wasn't sure if Mark 50 could withstand the impact of the second generation vibranium made Pioneer number 7. If it was destroyed, it would be a loss. This wasn't a life and death duel, and there was no need to sign a life and death contract. It was just a fight test. Just right. This time, I can also try out the ability of the one-long scale armor. Pingfan clenched his fists, and the shorts and trousers on his body faintly flashed with starlight. The so-called starlight is because each piece of scale armor can reflect different brilliance, which looks extremely high-end and atmospheric. No 7. Number 7. I love you. Number 7. Number 7. You are the strongest. No 7. Who swept everything, is unstoppable. Please press the host to the ground and rub it. More or less, I like the host. After all, we are watching the 1G reviewer. Your remarks in support of number 7 are a bit excessive. Who is number 7? The above person said so majestically. Do you want number 7 to be pressed to the ground and rubbed by the host, or the host to be pressed to the ground and rubbed by number 7? I think, how can you be considered successful without experiencing failure? Even if the anchor is pressed, it is also a life experience. I hope the anchor will become stronger, so I hope he will be rubbed. Pingfan, who doesn't read the barrage, may still have some fighting spirit. After reading the barrage, he seriously doubted his profession. As an anchor with tens of millions of fans, he should be the first person in history to be proposed to be pressed to the ground and rubbed by countless fans. Just right, give it a try. Since you are here, you should make the best of it. The reason why Pingfan is so reckless. There is no other reason. This ring competition will not endanger his life. Let's try and see how strong number 7 is. After entering the ring, Pingfan was not polite. He had already formulated a series of meticulous and detailed battle plans. This is his advantage. Is number 7 strong? Strong, undeniably strong. But that's it. Number 7 has no independent consciousness. The so-called strength is only in its own defense. If no one gives it an order, it is just an indestructible rock. Boom. Pingfan, who fell into the field, raised his fist and smashed at number 7. Fists collided. One was the Iron God weapon, which could not be said to be the strongest in the parallel universe, but it could be regarded as one of the best. The other was the strongest metal armor in the Marvel universe. From two worlds. Weapons from two different civilizations. Boom. A wave of air spread out with Pingfan and virtual pioneer number 7 as the center, like ripples stirred up after the calm lake was broken. One circle is very strong. Pioneer No 7's combat ability is indeed extraordinary. Bang. After the ripples dissipated, a force that seemed to be delayed pushed forward, and it seemed to suppress the force that Pingfan had applied in the past, completely knocking his body out and retreating several steps. On the other hand, Pioneer number 7 still stood there calmly and retracted his fist. It had no overall effect, except for the faint green smoke on his fist that had not yet dissipated. Pingfan retreated several steps before he could resist the powerful force. The fist of Messiah is indeed powerful. After a head-on collision with soldier number 7, it was not damaged. The reason why he was knocked back was because of his lack of ability and relatively weak physical fitness. The force transmitted from Soldier No 7's fist is inestimable. It is very strong. According to the statistics from the ring, if that force was transmitted directly to Pingfan's body, it might have shaken all his internal organs. But fortunately, there is the 10,000 dragon scale armor. This set of armor successfully helped him consume 90% of his strength. 30 years in the east, 30 years in the west. Number 7, you listen to me. I admit defeat. Pingfan stopped and immediately clasped his hands together. My friend, I admit defeat. I'm so fucking stubborn. I just don't want to be pressed to the ground. Do you accept it? Fuck, what a sudden turn. Why did you say such harsh words before? I didn't expect the anchor to admit defeat. The anchor's flirting is always sudden. You just get used to it. That's right. Since we know that number 7 is strong, what's the point of fighting it? It's just a phantom. It's better to admit defeat than to be pressed to the ground and then slap the ground to admit defeat. The first round of the fight ended with Pingfan's voluntary surrender after a fist collision. As expected, although most people are mocking the anchor for admitting defeat, you have overlooked an important issue. That is, anchor number 7 also has. That is, he was exiled to the Zuanfa world. Zuanfa world? What the hell? The anchor is just proving the strength of number 7 by admitting defeat. If Pingfan really wants to fight number 7, he still has many abilities that he hasn't used. The simplest air shock that has been exposed to the public, if used, although it may not be able to defeat number 7, but it won't end up so badly. The main reason is that Pingfan didn't want to fight number 7 in real hand-to-hand combat at all. It was enough to have a fist collision to feel the terrible punishment of number 7. Next, Number 7 disappeared. The beam of light lit up again. Chapter 145. Does the arena projection have memory? Since the evaluator lost the previous match, the loser can choose to change the battle venue. If no choice is made, the ring will default to the initial venue. Wow, you can choose this way. Pingfan, who was preparing for the second match, looked at the video recorder. I lost the last fight. Pingfan didn't feel embarrassed at all. Of course, because the face of the video recorder was encrypted, no one could see his appearance. But I didn't lose to number 7 in personal ability. Think about it, number 7 was left in the Zoanfa world because of me. Although it was not my will, it was also caused by me. Although the current number 7 is only a projection of the original No 7's data, my conscience still hurts when I see him. How can I swing an iron fist, and how can I kill my number 7? So, I would rather admit defeat, accept ridicule, and bear the name of the loser alone. Just because I can't bear to kill number 7. Wow, if I hadn't followed your first review video until now, I might have been moved to tears. The newbie is in tears. The anchor is affectionate and righteous. Anchor, don't be so mean. Do you still have a conscience? If you still have a conscience, would you become a pregnant criminal who deceives hundreds of millions of people? That's right, the above person said what I have always wanted to say, but dared not say. You evil villain, you are extremely shameless. You are clearly not a match for number 7. If you have the chance, I think you will definitely choose to press number 7 to the ground and rub it. No problem, I think you don't miss number 7 at all, and you may even blame him for not coming back with you. Pingfan didn't expect that the touching quotes he prepared would have no effect. Perhaps he should be the first anchor in history to be criticized by fans for having no conscience. Okay, let's change the background of the ring and change to a different venue. After saying that, Pingfan stretched out his hand and waved, and the ring completely changed the venue. It was in a desert, just like the nearly real image projected by the virtual reality experience device. Here, it's too real. Does this ring also have virtual reality function? It's a bit domineering, but it's a pity that the evaluation props would be this ring. Hammer, what do you think this thing is useful for? Do you watch the anchor go there to find someone to fight every day? If a lucky audience is drawn, who do you think will be the opponent of the current anchor? That's the Messiah's fist. The conscienceless anchor didn't even answer the question, and change the subject is changing the subject, not a necessary skill for a scumbag. The first day I felt sorry for number 7. Ahem. Pingfan focused his attention on the beam of light on the ring. He was a little curious about who was in the beam of light. The light faded away little by little. At this moment, a person appeared with a confused face. He looked around in confusion. He looked a little familiar. Fuck, native brother. Is it so tragic? Why did the native brother come to the ring again? Please explain. Who is the native brother? A bad luck boss in the world of Zoanfa, known as the Walking Jinx, a boss who once tried madly on the edge of death. I haven't seen you for a long time. I miss you so much. Thinking about the native brother back then, he was full of desire to survive, and he can be said to be a role model for many boyfriends. Pingfan didn't expect that the opponent randomly selected by the ring would be this guy. The key is, does this guy have any talents and skills that can be exploded? He didn't go all out to fight number 7 because it didn't make much sense. There was no need to waste steel armor materials to compete with it. If you really want No 7's talents or certain skills, you can wait until you return to the world of Zoanfa in the future and give number 7 a few waves of pregnant gazes. Even the nano-human bionic skeleton can be affected, so number 7 should also be within the scope. But now, alas. To be honest, this idiot who is full of desire to survive, he really doesn't want to explode the equipment. Similarly, it would be embarrassing to lose to him. Just when the idiot hadn't reacted yet, Pingfan clenched his fists and rushed over. Hi Yaojin. Standing in the desert, facing the wind and sand, Pingfan stopped swiftly. Although the scene is a desert, the area of the entire ring is limited, so it is not the case that, because the scene has changed to a desert, the entire ring has become a vast desert. Heh, did you bring me to this strange battlefield? What a demon. The native brother also found Pingfan at the first time. He is at least a loyal lackey of the former Holy Lord of the One for Holy Land in the Zuanfa world. Although he is a dog, his combat ability is also good. In addition, Pingfan never took off his steel armor when he was live broadcasting in the Zuanfa world. Now that he suddenly appeared, how could the native brother recognize him? Just as the native brother was preparing to fight, Pingfan raised his hand and knocked on the energy reactor on his chest. Because he noticed what the idiot said. Bring him this strange battlefield? Could it be that this guy didn't sort it out based on data? He shouldn't have any memories, right? Whether he has them or not, just be careful. At the critical moment, Pingfan raised his hand and pressed down the energy reactor, just attaching the armored helmet to his body. Doing this is also to verify truth. Does this guy recognize himself? So, when the steel armor helmet was attached, the native brother's face suddenly changed. Holy Lord. The native brother knelt down suddenly, kneeling on his knees and shouting. Pingfan's iron fist passed over his head and hit the ground. The ground suddenly cracked. A large pit more than 10 meters deep appeared. The native brother trembled all over, and his face was extremely pale. Holy Lord, is it really you? I missed you very much after we last met. Pingfan looked helpless. This guy, he really has a good memory. Could it be that this arena can summon people? If I had known earlier, I shouldn't have let number 7 go just now. Holy Lord, do you know that after we parted that day, our one for Holy Land built a fairy pavilion for you? It was indeed him. Pingfan was excited. It seemed that his verification this time was very successful. I ask you, how is my magic weapon in the Zuanfa world now? Reporting to the immortal Holy Lord, your magic weapon. The native brother's words have not yet finished. A voice came from the arena. Since the opponent has lost his fighting consciousness, he is judged as a loser and the next fight will be judged. After the sound of the ring fell, the native brother's body was gradually shrouded by a layer of light, becoming clearer and more transparent little by little, until it completely disappeared. Hey, wait a little longer. Pingfan still wanted to know the news about number 7. Unfortunately, the ring acted too quickly. But it's okay this way. If the native has consciousness, then number 7 who appeared before should still be safe. As long as he can avoid that stupid dragon and that stupid bird. The next place, when he returns to the world of Zuanfa, he will find it back one by one. With a bang. The light column fell out of thin air again. Chapter 146, Shadow Yasutora. What's going on? Did the native brother speak just now? Do all the opponents randomly integrated by this ring according to the data have memories? Or can the original body be summoned? Oh my god, then the number 7 just now is really number 7. Damn, number 7 is not left. I miss the first day of my number 7. The native brother is still very native, with a strong desire to survive. He is the one I know, and I will never make a mistake, to be honest. Pingfan was also shocked. He just wanted to confirm it. Unexpectedly, it was really verified. The native recognized him. Now I have a doubt. Does the data integrated by the ring only include physical fitness or memory? If so, it is understandable. He has met the native before, so it is normal for the other party to have memories of him. But the problem is, I don't know whether this memory of going to the ring to fight will be transmitted to the original body. If so, then this ring is a bit strong. In a sense, it will make people experience the feeling of traveling through time and space. Where is this place? Just when Pingfan was recalling, a man's rough voice came from the beam of light. The voice was translated by the ring, so everyone could understand it. The voice before the translation was also familiar, but it was definitely not Chinese. The beam of light slowly dissipated. Inside was a big man who was perhaps nearly 2 meters tall, with a strong body, brown skin, and long curly hair that slanted down to cover his left eye. He wore a string of coin-shaped pendants around his neck. This person's appearance is more famous than number 7 and the native brother before. The explosion of the barrage in the live broadcast room can prove it. Fuck, Chadutehu, my tiger brother. Is it really him? The two-dimensional character that came out of the comics is real. My tough guy tiger brother. Who else is not convinced? Suddenly I feel like I have to sweat for the anchor. Maybe he can't beat this big brother. Chadutehu who mainly fights with bare hands. I'm fucking Pingfan, who also had countless grass mud horses galloping through his heart, was also a little panicked Chad Utehu. He happened to recognize this person, because this guy comes from one of the few anime he has watched, Bleach. This guy is a good friend of the male protagonist in the Bleach plane world. This guy has a gentle personality, good academic performance, and likes many cute things. Before his ability was revealed, he had burst out with strange strength to pull up a telephone pole with his bare hands. Moreover, he was crushed by a falling I-beam and hit head on by a motorcycle. But he only suffered minor injuries. You know, these are the physical qualities he possessed before his ability awakened. This guy not only has a powerful full bring ability, but also has different strengths in his two arms. The right arm of a giant, the left arm of a demon. It can be said to be a strong opponent. Pingfan looked at the strong man who appeared in front of him, and then looked at the Messiah fist on his right hand. He really didn't know if he could just beat this one. This time it's interesting. I thought it was for us to watch a joke. Two iron fists from the same two-dimensional world. Is it better to send you to see Jesus, or? Pingfan had no intention of wearing Mark 50. For him, the defense of the iron suit might not be as high as that of the dragon scale armor. Give it a try. Chad Tehu stood in place, looking at Pingfan opposite him. Pingfan clenched his fists, and the full set of armor that looked like a dark green dragon was faintly glowing. They didn't need to talk anymore. They already understood each other's meaning. Fight. Chad Tehu is just that kind of person. He doesn't like to talk nonsense. Boom. The next moment, Chad Tehu's right arm turned black with red stripes, his shoulders became wider, and a set of things that looked like armor appeared. I don't know if Chad Tehu has awakened the devil's left arm. So nervous, so nervous. The whole process was exciting. Come and make way. Beer, peanuts, mineral water, melon seeds, peanuts, and 8 treasure porridge. Quick, move your own stools, and wait for this epic battle. I decided to name this fight, the Battle of the Unicorn Arm. Is it better to send you to see Jesus or the giant's left arm? As the barrage kept scrolling, Pingfan's feet were full of wind, and Tehu Chad was not to be outdone. The two rushed towards each other. Come on. Boom. Fists collided. A strong wind spread out from the two of them, and the sky was full of sand and dust, as if a huge tornado appeared out of thin air in the desert. The dust was everywhere, and the picture in the live broadcast room became turbid, and the two people could not be seen clearly. But you can hear the sound. Bang 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 bang. There were continuous explosions. Ali J, come on, host. Although I prefer the god of death, and I like Tehu Chad's personality, I support the host now. That's right, the collision of two worlds. The host must defend our dignity. Defeat him. Pingfan certainly tried his best. He didn't want to lose. He wanted to explode his equipment. Tehu Chad's ability attracted him. Whether it was the full display technique, the giant's right arm, or the devil's left arm, these abilities made Pingfan jealous. Even if it really doesn't work, it's okay to take away Chad Tehu's strong body, as long as it doesn't change the appearance of my skin, then I can accept it. Boom. Another punch exploded. A more powerful wave of air came in an instant, and after all the smoke and dust were extinguished, the figures of two people were revealed. They were still standing, and it seemed that nothing was wrong. Pingfan really felt the power of Chad Tehu. He was able to stand because of the 10,000 dragon scale armor, while Chad Tehu was able to stand because of his strong physical fitness. The difference was immediately clear. However, this fight did not say that external forces could not be used. The last blow will determine the winner. Pingfan raised his fist high. There is another task in this live broadcast. That is to thoroughly evaluate the fist of the Messiah. This is the last blow of the fist of the Messiah. It is called the Fist of Light. Pingfan raised his fist, and a window opened above the ocean house, just in time for the real sunlight to fall and gather on his fist. Oh my god, the anchor has really transformed into the brightest guy. Sunshine, this is the final blow. Call the anchor like crazy. Exciting. Chad Tehu also understood what Pingfan meant. One punch decides the outcome. He raised the giant's right arm high, and a strong blue spiritual pressure burst out from behind his shoulder. Fist of Light. Giant strike. Boom. The world seemed to be annihilated in the collision of these two punches. The live broadcast room was dominated by a dazzling white light. Everyone turned their heads away, not daring to look directly at it. The white light deeply hurt everyone's eyes. This battle finally came to an end. Chapter 147. He hit. Dazzling. No, to be more precise, the dazzling white light lasted for several minutes before gradually dissipating. On the ring after it dissipated, it was already a desert reduced to ruins. Two people stood in the middle of the desert, Lee Pingfan and Chadutehu. Because Lee Pingfan's clothes were transformed from the scales of 10,000 dragons, there was no damage. But Chadutehu was not so comfortable. His clothes were torn, and his trousers were shattered into shorts by the spiritual pressure and powerful ability in the battle. The exposed upper body showed strips of explosive muscles. A tattoo of a double-winged heart wrapped by a snake on his left shoulder was particularly conspicuous. His dark brown and strong muscles were full of cuts, and the blood was shocking. This scene was very heroic. The barrage in the live broadcast room was surprisingly silent for a few seconds. This is too strong. The anchor seemed to have turned into light just now, and suddenly remembered that when I was a child, I helped my grandfather to light a fire. The oil pan accidentally caught fire. The flames shot up to the sky. I was at a loss holding the pot lid. Grandpa shouted on the side, "Cover it." That year my grandfather turned into light. So, upstairs, the anchor is your grandfather? You know, the right arm of the giant of Chadutehu is not very powerful in combat, and its strongest aspect is still defense. Yes, if the left arm of the devil appears, the ending may be different. I was worried about the anchor. The fist of Messiah is powerful, but I think this competition may be difficult. Boom. Chadutehu's body softened and fell to the ground. After losing consciousness, he turned into a stream of light and disappeared, as if he had never appeared. Lee Pingfan's bent body instantly became like a deflated ball, bending over and breathing heavily. He won. It was not because the fist of Messiah was definitely more powerful than the right arm of the giant, but he won because of the 10,000 dragon scale armor. This set of armor helped him offset nearly 60% of the spiritual pressure impact. In addition, with the fist of Messiah, he himself did not withstand much of the giant's attack. On the other hand, Tehu was different. Wow, this guy is so damn strong. Lee Pingfan now felt that all his strength was drained out, and his body was limp. Although this evaluation today was not the most dangerous one, it was definitely the most tiring one. 3 battles. It ended with 2 wins and 1 loss. Just as Lee Pingfan was about to leave, he was surprised to find that there was a white ball of light on the ground, where Chadutehu fell and disappeared. This white ball of light was somewhat similar to the skill talent that Lee Pingfan copied through the embryo gaze. The appearance of the white ball of light immediately made Lee Pingfan happy. Explode equipment. Soon, the white ball of light turned into a stream of light and drilled into Lee Pingfan's eyebrows. Fuck, what was that just now? Could the anchor be possessed by a powerful person? Ahem, it shouldn't be. I still have to congratulate the anchor for winning successfully. Evaluator, you are my strongest father. Abba abba. Lee Pingfan let out a long breath, and before he could check the ball of light, the ring under his feet turned into countless brilliant lights and dissipated. There was no way. This ring is not his. It is only for temporary use, so when the evaluation is over, the ring will naturally be taken back by the system. System, I express my condolences to your whole family. The system has no family. If there is, then you, the only host of this system, should be the one. Please feel free to express your condolences. Lee Pingfan was still on the ring. The ring was more than 10 meters high and suddenly disappeared, catching Lee Pingfan off guard. Fortunately, Mark 50 can be dressed instantly, otherwise it would be embarrassing to fall from this height. Of course, it is not certain that he will be injured. The 10,000 dragon scale armor is not tanned. It can even withstand a blow from the powerful giant Chadutehu. How can it be a pit? Sudden stimulation by the system. Lee Pingfan did not rush to see what equipment was exploded from Chadutehu. Instead, he was ready to summarize this live broadcast. Everyone has seen that this is the overall content of this live broadcast. In terms of material, the Fist of Messiah will not be the opponent of the Pioneer number 7, and of course I will not necessarily lose to the Pioneer number 7. Lee Pingfan was right. Now he has all kinds of magical powers, even if he may not win. but at least he will not lose so badly. As for the native brother I met in the second ring match, he has an overwhelming desire to survive. There is no way. This is also a kind of ability. His uncontrollable desire to survive can always help him get out of danger. At least, it is a miracle that the guy can still live to this day with such a bad mouth. In the third ring match, the opponent is Chad Tehu, who is a character from the parallel world of Death God. I think many people should know this guy and understand his abilities. Today I experienced the horror of a giant's blow. Of course, since this live broadcast is mainly about the Messiah's fist, I didn't borrow my other powers. Even if Chad Tehu has a demon left arm, he may not be able to press me to the ground and rub it like everyone in the live broadcast room said. This is indeed true. Air shock ability, splitting ability, steel armor, hybrid number 2, mermaid and mountain eating beast, pregnant gaze, embryo gaze. There are also magnetic storm reaction balls that can be purchased at any time in the mall. Each of them is Pingfan's own ability. Therefore, even if Chad Tehu has the devil's left arm, he may not be able to easily defeat Pingfan. Okay, this live broadcast can almost end. After saying this, Pingfan stood in front of the live broadcast room without moving. He was not in a hurry to close the live broadcast room. Fortunately, he had put on the Mark 50 before. Hurry up and ask. Pingfan asked Friday to help him send a text message to Song Wanling. What is this girl doing? Why don't you hurry up? Since the live broadcast, Pingfan has been following Song Wanling's account. However, this guy has never posted anything related to business from beginning to end. They are awesome. Husband sleeps with me. Husband I love you. The bitch upstairs. My husband is mine. Husband, I want to give birth to a baby for you. No wonder she was deceived by Kim Shahyang. I really can't blame others for being brainless. Not long after the text message was sent, a barrage from an id called No Whiteheads in the World popped up in the live broadcast room. No Whiteheads in the World. Reviewer, I'm Zio Song, a lucky viewer who has been to your live broadcast room before. Can I ask you for a favor? Oh, I was just about to say that I haven't been able to help you all in the recent live broadcasts, and you posted it. Great. God's cooperation. No white hair in the world. Reviewer, I recently cooperated with a friend to develop an application, an online application for clothing design, called Creator. Can I put an advertisement in your live broadcast room? At the same time, Linky, who was watching this live broadcast, smiled. After today, the 7-day deadline is up, and you actually want the reviewers of the world to help you advertise. Do you know who they are? It's really wishful thinking. Oh. Pingfan in the live broadcast room asked in surprise. The Creator was developed by you. I have paid attention to it these days. It is indeed a relatively unique and interesting software. It is very good. I personally like it very much. Friends who like it can go and download it. You can design your own clothes online. The key is that the clothes you design can also be directly produced by the factory. Moreover, if the design has highlights, there is even a chance that it will be purchased by the developer or some other clothing brands at a high price. It really makes the clothes you design a weather vane. He did it. He did it. He really fucking advertised it. Besides, I think the person who designed and developed this software application is very talented and can be called a genius. If you need financial investment, I can help. Pingfan smiled. He never blushes when it comes to bragging about himself. Chapter 148 The Devil's Left Arm. He really advertised. Anchor, how much money the Creator gave you. I'm so dissatisfied that I'll give you a chicken leg. You are not the anchor I love anymore. You actually advertised. By the way, is it really that easy to use? I've used it. The software was just released not long ago. It's very good. It's very interesting to hear the anchor say that. If that's the case, it's great. I have countless inspirations bursting in my brain. Pingfan smiled. Since it is a design application created by the fans of our live broadcast room, it's okay to share it here. Everyone can go and have a look. I gave it a good review last night. He advertised. He advertised again. Linky was stunned. No, Leaky. That's right. With Linky's interference, Daoxia platform really didn't have a big anchor who dared to accept this cooperation. But Li Pingfan is now big anchor on the entire network platform and has settled in all live broadcast platforms in China. It is estimated that it is difficult to find someone more influential than him. He really didn't find the anchors with tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of people in the live broadcast room to advertise. This anchor has tens of millions of traffic. At his peak, hundreds of millions of people watched his live broadcast, and he also made hundreds of millions of viewers pregnant, becoming a pregnancy offender who was famous in China and about to shock the blue star. In the world of the god of death, Chad Tatora suddenly raised his head and opened his eyes. "Huh, you scared me to death." A bad boy wearing a black kimono, carrying a strange long sword on his back, and with a head full of orange-yellow hair asked worriedly, "Are we still in Ukomundo?" "Yes, what happened to you just now? You suddenly fainted while walking, and Oraheim-san couldn't find out what was wrong with you?" the yellow-haired boy asked. Yes, Chad-san really scared us to death just now." A girl with long brown yellow hair and an explosive figure came forward. A hairpin with the word Shield Shunreka on her smooth hair was particularly eye-catching. I just seemed to have a very real dream." Chad Tatora, who woke up, scratched his hair with a dazed look. "In my dream, I fought with a man wearing boxing gloves and a steel mask in a desert. But I lost." Chad Utehu looked at the sky in a daze. In addition to losing, he always felt that something was missing. Zuan for World. The native man who was responsible for cleaning all the toilets in the entire Holy Land of Wan for Holy Land woke up slowly against the wall. His eyes were particularly terrified. "Go see the ancestor. The immortal is still alive. I just dreamed of the immortal." This guy immediately got up and ran towards the whole of Wan for Holy Land. Does the immortal want to convey something in the world? Except for him. In a deep forest not far from Wan for Holy Land, a puppet covered with metal walked out. It is the lonely and alone person who stayed in the Zuan for World Soldier number 7. At the same time, another layer of black clouds rolled up in the sky, and the black clouds pressed down the sky, and torrential rain and strong winds continued wherever they passed. "Run away." I know that, even if that person is not an immortal, he has some great magical power. As his magic weapon, you should have your own intelligence. Since he has abandoned you, why bother to follow him? I will find you in the end. The voice of a silly dragon came from the black cloud. In the real world, the ocean house, Li Pingfan ended the advertising time. "Okay, this live broadcast can almost end here. We will see you in the live broadcast room at the same time 7 days later. Please get pregnant. Don't leave so soon, host dad. No white hair allowed in the world. Thank you for the support of the reviewer. If the reviewer wants to invest, it must be very good, and I will welcome it. Moreover, the relationship between me and the other partner is just an ordinary friend. He is a good person. I feel a good person card. Ding, you are a good person, and the transformation is successful. Bah. Li Pingfan wanted to vomit blood. Can you stop posting nonsense? Moreover, who the hell asked you to explain? Who cares what kind of friend you are? This conscienceless thing. Hehe. Li Pingfan snorted with a fake smile. I know. Okay, since everyone wants to get pregnant, I'll help everyone feel it again. After that, Li Pingfan, who was depressed, took out the true love glasses. What is love? What is filial piety? Pregnancy gaze. Damn, revenge on society. Anchor, I hate you. Anchor, today I will give birth to many monkeys for you. My belly has grown again, it's so fun. I have already stopped menstruating, but I can still feel the process of pregnancy. Happy ha. To prevent being nauseated and vomiting, after performing the pregnancy gaze, Li Pingfan directly and ruthlessly closed the live broadcast room. It is conceivable that the name of the pregnancy offender will soon resound on the internet again. Now he only cares about what rewards he can get from this live broadcast. The most important thing is what equipment is exploded. I'm a little looking forward to what good things will be exploded from Chad Utehu. Li Pingfan's eyes flickered. He didn't have time to check before. Now he has time. After the white light penetrated into the center of his brow, he waited for the start. Li Pingfan, who stood there in silence for a moment, suddenly opened his eyes. Two sharp eyes burst out of his eyes. He clenched his left arm suddenly. The sound of bones rubbing against each other was a little loud. At the same time, His left arm began to change, the color turned into a white background with red lines, and a sharp corner appeared on his shoulder, with red fingers, which was particularly eye-catching. This was a talent from Chadutehu, the left arm of the devil. Pingfan was ecstatic. He didn't expect that such a talent and magical power could burst out from Chadutehu. He was even more delighted with the mysterious arena. If he could get that thing, as long as he kept opening arenas and randomly selected lucky opponents from the heavens and the worlds, he would have a chance to burst out equipment and skills. The attack of the demon. After informing Ziohei in advance, and letting it make a simple defense around Pingfan at the moment, then he clenched his fist. He slammed it hard on the ground. Pingfan's left hand burst out with a powerful spiritual pressure, and a super powerful punch hit the ground, and smoke and dust rose up. After a loud bang, the smoke gradually dissipated. At this moment, a skeleton demon totem slowly emerged on the ground. This is the power of the demon. The moment he used his left arm to attack, Pingfan felt an endless stream of power, as if it existed naturally. So strong. After dispersing the demon's left arm, Pingfan took off the fist of the Messiah. If Chadutehu used the power of the demon's left arm to fight him, the fist of the Messiah might not be able to withstand it. Too strong. System, now make a comprehensive assessment of this live broadcast. I can't wait. I hope to return to the world of Zoanfa. Kill them and taste the taste of dragon meat. Chapter 149. Do you plan to keep it for the new year? This live broadcast has been logged into all live broadcast platforms in China for the reviewer. After comprehensive evaluation, the reviewer's live broadcast score is A+. Pingfan expected to get an A score. Many platforms were opened at the beginning of the live broadcast. Although other platforms do not need to reach the average, because there is no diversion of fans, the scores of some newly logged in platforms will be slightly worse. This is understandable. After receiving the reward, he is not far from the growth value required for upgrading. It is only less than 500 points. If he is lucky, he should be able to directly upgrade to level 2 in the next live broadcast. The 500 point bonus made his total points exceed 1000 at once. Except for the pregnancy gaze that consumed 10 points at the end of the live broadcast, there was no other consumption. Now the total points are 1190 points left. System, do I have a chance to refresh the storage grid? Pingfan couldn't wait to refresh the 100-fold wrist strength ball. It was a headache for this thing to occupy one of his mall props grids. If he could do it again, he would not have given up on the last time he visited the fashion city, but would have chosen to refresh the prop grid. Heartbroken. The reviewer can choose to reopen a prop grid or refresh the prop grid once. Must refresh. Wait. Just when he was about to refresh the prop grid, Pingfan looked at the prop grid with some nostalgia and saw the 100-fold wrist strength ball that cost as much as 50 points. This thing has been in love and hate with him since the live broadcast, and it has been entangled with him until now. If you miss it, you may miss it forever. Exchange 1. After thinking about it, Pingfan still reluctantly spent 50 points to exchange the 100-fold wrist strength ball. The light flashed by, and soon an elliptical sphere that could just be wrapped in the palm of your hand fell from the air. The wrist strength ball, also known as the wrist strength fitness ball. It uses an artificial power device to provide energy. That is, it is purely mechanical, does not use any battery power, and does not have any electromagnetic radiation. The rotation speed of the ball core is driven by the frequency of wrist rotation, which can be adjusted manually. Of course, these introductions are for the wrist strength ball. The 100x wrist strength ball is very simple. As the name suggests, it is 100 times more sensitive to wrist rotation speed than the original wrist strength ball. In other words, if you shake it lightly, the rotation speed of this wrist strength ball can reach 20,000 revolutions per minute, or even higher. In an instant, it will bring you a weight close to 40 kilograms. Of course, this is just the beginning. Every time you shake your wrist, you will feel more crazy and terrible power. Just like now. When Pingfan's hand touched the 100x wrist strength ball, it just shook slightly. Suddenly, he felt as if he was carrying an extra bag of rice in his hand, or even heavier, and his arm drooped instantly. Damn, I can't exchange this thing. Leapingfan held the 100x wrist strength ball very carefully, trying his best not to let his wrist move. I want to put it down. It's a rip-off. The key is that the props purchased from the mall with points cannot be replaced with the system, which means that he can only keep this 100x wrist strength ball for himself. F***ing will never touch you again. Although Leapingfan tried his best to control his wrist, this wrist force ball was extremely sensitive. Any slight shake would cause it to rotate at a very high speed. He was trembling all over now, and his voice was a little weak. I remember that, when Chad Tehu practiced the giant right arm or the demon left arm, he strengthened his own strength. Leapingfan's previous demon attack was far less powerful than Chad Tehu's giant attack. You know, in terms of lethality, the demon attack is far ahead of the giant attack. Although he had just been through a fight and his physical energy might have been consumed, this was not a hard condition. The main reason was still himself. His physical fitness was slightly poor. Recently, his physical fitness was able to be improved, mainly because of the fighting experience in the virtual reality experience world. But this is far from enough. Damn, just die. Gritting his teeth, Leapingfan spent another 50 points and exchanged for another 100-fold wrist force ball. He wanted to train and strengthen himself, and the 100-fold wrist force ball was exactly the best choice now. Demon in the left hand, Jesus in the right hand. No matter how strong the demon's left arm and the Messiah's fist are, if the user is weak, it is difficult to bring out their power. This is a good opportunity. Okay, now help me refresh the 100x arm strength ball item slot. As soon as the voice fell, the third item slot was refreshed. The new item is the Extreme Warrior Badge. Item introduction. Extreme Warrior Badge, a must-have item for the warrior to challenge the limit. After wearing this badge, the warrior's physical fitness will be temporarily blocked, and the current physical fitness will be set to the lowest point. Constantly break the limit and constantly create abilities. How to use. Wearing or carrying the badge on your body can produce the effect of suppressing physical fitness. At the same time, if you want to unlock it, you only need to take off the badge. The badge is a one-time consumable item and will automatically disappear after taking it off. Price: 100 points. This thing is good. Leapingfan is now planning to improve his physical fitness, otherwise he would not buy two annoying 100x arm strength balls. The function of this badge is easy to understand. It is better to introduce it using numerical methods. For example, your current physical fitness is 10, and the maximum strength you can withstand is 20. Then, after using the badge, your physical fitness will still be 10, and no matter how you exercise and practice, your physical fitness will remain above 10. But your limit will continue to increase, from 20 to 30, or even higher. The so-called accumulation of strength is what this means. Similarly, the difference is that, even if you take off the badge, your overall physical fitness data is still 10, and it will not suddenly increase. But in the same way, you are already invincible in this field of physical fitness of 10. After others' physical fitness reaches 20, the maximum strength they can withstand may only be 30, but in this stage of physical fitness of 10, you can break through 30, or even higher. Your achievements will be greater. For you, the signs are constantly breaking through. Beautiful. Do I have another chance to open the temporary prop mall? Rated as A. There is no way to open the discount mall or the 1-point mall for the whole field. Do you want to open the temporary prop mall for the reviewer now? Little brother, if you don't open it now, are you going to keep it for the new year? The system felt the full malice of the reviewer. This was the first time it failed to defeat Leapingfan. As Leapingfan finished speaking, a light blue prop mall opened and appeared in front of him. It's been a long time since I last saw it, a temporary prop mall. At this moment, I was actually full of expectations. Chapter 150, Doubts about Magnet Mountain. Damn anticipation. Leapingfan's expression now can be said to be more disgusting than eating shit. Although he has never eaten shit, it should not be as disgusting as it is now. The temporary prop mall can be said to have brought over some of Leapingfan's least favorite props. Mimic animal smoke bomb, real anti-wolf stockings, love cannon shot to the sky. Here I have to talk about the third prop in particular. The love cannon shot to the sky is an upgraded version of the love smoke bomb. It has a larger range and is often stronger when it lasts. It will attract a layer of clouds and rain when it hits the sky. But this is not ordinary clouds and rain. The so-called teasing clouds and rain may be just like this. Under the clouds and rain, any lucky person who is irrigated by the rain of love will be hit. The power is greater than that of the love smoke bomb. Similarly, the probability of accidentally injuring friendly forces is also greater than that of the smoke bomb. Isn't this disgusting enough? But the only thing that is not disgusting is that the fourth prop is not a 100-fold arm strength ball, otherwise it will really make people vomit. Space-time mineral mining car. The name of the fourth prop attracted Pingfan's attention. Mining car? Space-time? What the hell? Shuttle world? After he read the introduction of the item, he realized that space-time does not mean shuttle world, but he was not disappointed. Space-time refers to the channel opened by the space blade after setting 2 connection points. However, this channel can only be entered and used by the space-time mining car. If any life enters it, it may be squeezed into meat by various unstable element in the space channel. Even if it does not die, it may be lost in the space gap and can never return to the real world. The problem is, this car does not need people to operate it. Haha, there are already the skills of space transfer, and why use manpower? Good stuff. This is exactly what Pingfan needs now. The wild mountain near Mount Baguniang contains countless mysterious magnetic ores. And according to Friday's analysis, there may be a new element in these ores that has not been recorded yet. Pingfan has long wanted to empty the mountain, but it is too time consuming to mine by himself, and it is not efficient enough, so he has always ignored it. Now is a good opportunity. The price is 999 points. You are planning to empty me out all at once. Although it requires a lot of points, Pingfan still chose to exchange. A crack appeared in the sky, and a loader slowly fell through the space wormhole. The whole car is in an arc shape, and it is in the shape of a closed truck. If you talk about the appearance, it does look a bit like the super time mining car in the Red Alert game. Beautiful. After purchasing this prop, he also received all the rights and rewards for this live broadcast. The only thing left is the right to know in advance about the next live broadcast, but that power will not be available until the day before the live broadcast. Can't rush. Good stuff. Mining business, I will leave it to you. After getting this space-time mineral mining car, Pingfan immediately set the space coordinates. The starting point is naturally at the ocean house, and the end point is a hilltop containing the mysterious magnetic ore. Go. A huge blue light circle appeared on the ground. After receiving the command, the mining car drove into the light circle and disappeared in a blink of an eye. This thing is quite strong. The space-time mineral mining vehicle comes from more than 600 years later, and the body is made of graphene TR metal. This metal was discovered in the world more than 400 years later, and is a brand new elemental metal. However, due to the technology at that time, it was impossible to mass produce it, and it was shelved for nearly 200 years before it could be mass produced. Even if it can be mass produced, this metal material called graphene TR is extremely rare and can only be used in some important technologies. The weight of the material is lighter than the current space material carbon fiber, but the tension and combination force is extremely large, and it can withstand very strong attacks. At least the guns and ammunition in this world can't hurt this car at all. At the same time, because it is equipped with space technology. Of course, you can understand this space technology is a very crude technology. What shocked the mermaid when he came here before was that Pingfan's space teleportation technology could be realized on humans. This is a different concept. The space channel of this mining car can only allow it to pass through itself, and any life form that enters it may die. It's not possible. It should be said that there is absolutely no way to get out. Once the mine is discovered by others, it will soon become the property of the country, and then Pingfan will not be able to rob it directly. Therefore, he wanted to empty the mine before it was discovered. However, according to the current level of technology, even if someone could find that the mine contained a rich natural magnetic field, they would not link it to the ore. With current technology, there is no way to extract the metal resources in this ore. Pingfan once suspected that the magnetic storm reaction ball came from these ores, but he has no evidence now. He can only wait for Jarvis to extract the metal element in the ore before comparing them. The magnetic storm reaction ball came from the Bial Palace more than 200 years later, and the reserves are very small. If it really came from these ores, it is enough to prove that the Bial Palace more than 200 years later did not have a very perfect technology to extract the magnetic field reaction in the ore. However, the stone flake on the Grey Fox of Yuxu Palace is obviously the same as the ore on the mountain. How did they find it? Maybe it was a coincidence. If Yuxu Palace really controlled the wild mines on that mountain, how could it let the mountain continue to be exposed in the wild? And how could it only bring such a small piece of stone when dealing with him? He couldn't figure out these questions, and they needed to be investigated in the future. Sir. Just as Pingfan was thinking, Friday's voice came. Speak. Pingfan knocked on his chest and put on the Mark 50. Sir, I recommend you to go to Magnet Mountain for an investigation. At that time, you asked me to record the data of Magnet Mountain. After comparing and studying, I should have discovered some possibilities. Friday's voice was very cautious. Magnet Mountain is Pingfan's abbreviation for the mountain full of magnetic field minerals. Oh. What's the matter? Sir, I'm still in the doubt stage. I need you to reach the height of Magnet Mountain. I can do a 3-dimensional terrain analysis and comparison to determine whether the guess is correct. Okay. Pingfan likes Friday's rigorous character. He will never brag before he is sure. Through the space blade, Pingfan, wearing a steel armored suit, quickly appeared in the sky of Magnet Mountain. Sir, how about I operate the armor next and find a suitable position to model and analyze Magnet Mountain? Okay, but you always have to tell me your doubts. Is there any problem with Magnet Mountain? End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.